Okay, we're just waiting for him to get in here. Says he's in here, but I don't think he hears me. Fuck. He probably got overpairs in his pocket. I'm not gonna go for that. Sucks too because I had high pair with an ace to kick it too. That's really funny. The trumpet that was supposed to debate me and ran from it just got banned from TikTok because there was porn on Omegle. He probably should have taken me up on my offer to debate him, not on Omegle, and then he wouldn't be dealing with that, I guess. That's some quality shit right there, boys. Okay, I gotta call that. See you later, loud dog. Man, what's this guy doing? What's up with that? There we go. Okay. Ooh, Reese, that's 40. This guy fucking said he was gonna debate me, and then like he was just like blowing me off, and I messed him, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm real busy and shit." He just got banned from TikTok, the 50,000K or the 50K fucking following because he does all his debates on Omegle against fucking retards that can't debate, and there was fucking porn on the Omegle, so he got banned.
So that's who's that more embarrassing for?
Him, dude. It's so gross too. It's just like watching him fucking bully people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's like jerking himself off for like winning debates, even though he fucking says like he says shit that's not true all the time, and just like steamrolls right over it. Like anything they say, like he's just not good at debating. He's just fucking fast. But like the people he's talking to know how to debate, so they don't know how to fucking deal with that shit. What's that? So like he used that award that Trump got for helping black people with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali, even though like it's very clearly that's not what the award was given for. Like I know, like I've looked into this myself. This is like over this. It's like not even debatable, like that it's been debunked, you know. And he was using that to cite against this chick. So like he basically just uses bad arguments, and like he'll throw links up there. Like it doesn't matter if the link's like verifiable or not. He's just bad. And I really do think that he's bad faith too. Like I think that he knows what he's doing because he's just doing it against fucking stupid people that don't know how to debate. For 20 chips, I'm in. You cannot have 20 more from me, sir. Absolutely not. I do like these 6-seaters though. These 6-seaters are nice. Oh shit, where's my mod? Oh no. Oh no. My mod. Wow, fucking scared ass. They ran quick AF. Oh no, I don't know where I put my mod. I'm gonna knock over this fucking screen. Kyle, do you see my mod? Like on the table behind me or something?
I got cookies in the oven, so that's 12, 15, 12:50. Okay, I'll take a break.
Okay. Did you get more like conviction since the last time we talked? Last time we talked, you were like very fence sitting. Did you make up your mind about stuff?
Yeah, I'm more of a Democrat now. I don't know what you're
Oh. So were you just trolling when you said you were gonna put on your Trump hat for
Trump
this?
hat, yeah. I mean,
Oh.
I'll do my best defense from Donald Trump.
Oh, jeez. Are you up for it?
Oh no. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the Fox News statistics here, and we'll get to it.
Fox News actually has them losing in the polls too, by like a pretty bad margin.
And then we'll just go to his.
Are you
page
watching,
and
Tanner?
look at his- I was, and then he did a omegle with somebody,
Yeah.
and it was literally just fucking porn. And then he goes, oh no, my god, oh my god, he shuts his computer. And he's like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get banned for this. And then in the middle of saying that his fucking sentence, he just cuts it out.
Yeah. When he was talking to that Mexican girl, dude, he had so many bad faith fucking and like just bad information and like lies and shit. Oh, she was completely fucking stupid too. Like,
Is that the girl who's telling him to take off all this fucking Trump merch before the talk?
yeah.
Yeah, that when I was watching that, I was like, that's not okay.
It was like watching two fucking autistic guys trying to fuck each other in the ass, just running in circles with their fucking dicks out, just jerking them off to stay hard. It was awful.
Did you watch his podcast?
No. I only hop on the TikTok so I can demand the fucking debate he told me he was going to give me last time I was on there.
Oh, so apparently he only joined the Discord like a few years ago. Or no, he joined the Discord today.
Oh, okay.
It's Tanner Cag. That's his thing.
I genuinely don't think that he can I think that like not just that like I would destroy him. I think that anybody who does any kind of like debating against not fucking retarded people on Omega would destroy him.
Oh my god, do you just like the comments? Fucking, it's bad.
Oh yeah, he also does not regulate his community at all, which is super gross for how big it is. Like I feel like he's extremely immoral for him to fucking let those people say all the stuff that they say and not like ban anybody for it.
Like I saw a comment like, "I'm here to save like the white race" or some shit.
Well, but the thing that really bothered me was I need to get somebody fucking get this girl's IP address. I'm gonna teach her a fucking lesson. Like, bro, you gotta ban people that say that kind of shit. That's not good. You literally have people on TikTok threatening the person that he's talking to. That's fucking gross, dude. You can't do that. Like, he should just be getting banned for not cracking down on that, in my opinion. That's like you have a responsibility as a content creator.
He got banned earlier for doing stuff like that.
For not cracking down on his community?
Yeah, and then the people were like, everybody in the comments like, I'm gonna report this guy.
Good.
During his podcast, whatever you want to call it, what's the guy doing? During his podcast, he was just like pretty much shitting on like the Democratic Party. it wasn't really like a two-side debate. It was just like, well, it wasn't really a debate. It was just kind of
Just a
shitting on
circle jerk.
everybody. Yeah, pretty much. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good statement there. Good statement." There was no like opposition to anything.
Dude, I really didn't like to when he was fucking going on that chick. He is like so smug with himself. Like he was like, how are you proud of that? Like if I walk outside and I punch a fucking 10-year-old in the fucking face, it's like I'm the strongest in the world. Like how fucking, like it's pathetic. It's not good. These are not things that you're supposed to be proud of doing.
His entire comment section, whenever he like finishes like I'm not even gonna call it a debate, just like a shit sesh.
Yeah.
The entire comment goes, he goes, do we get an L? No, did we get a W for that? Did we get a W for that? Everybody in the comments like, yeah, you definitely won that debate with that 10-year-old.
Like, dude, for real. And like, I haven't seen him debate anybody who wasn't like all of these above too, emotionally charged as fuck, completely fucking clueless, or even checked his fucking sources. This motherfucker could just be copying and pasting whatever. And not only that too, he's so shitty in how he, like, if some, like, she misspoke something and like she clearly like misspoke and he's like, oh, but you said this, but you said, like, bro, that's not what she fucking meant, and you know, like, everybody watching knows this. Like, why is what you're doing good?
The entire fan base is just like kids for that TikTok.
I would have to assume so. Well, it seems like it's kids and then people who are like passionately against what he's doing commenting.
Dude, and then you get like floods of like BLM, like ACAB, and he goes, no, mods, go ahead and ban this guy.
Oh, he asked for mods to ban people,
Yeah.
but not any of the people like calling for doxing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. I haven't seen him actually ask the mods to do anything. I'm really impressed how hard Jake fucking simps for this guy.
He's apparently he's the Ben Shapiro, even though you can't really be a Ben Shapiro debating. It's not even a debate, it's just fucking bulldozer over the 5-year-old.
No, that's actually kind of a good way to put it, because Ben Shapiro doesn't actually like really debate people that debate, right? He just debates fucking random ass people that he knows that he can use like rhetoric to just get one over on, because they're clearly not people in a position to be like debating him. Like, has Ben Shapiro actually debated anybody like with a platform before?
He debated the guy who owns the Young Turks thing, but I mean he's not really a debater either.
He just owns it?
He owns it. He just like kind of like talks about stuff. I mean, I don't like the Young Turks. They're a bit too extreme for me.
I mean, Young Turks, they can be okay. I don't like. I
Did you
think
see
Hassan
the,
Abi is a fucking piece of shit. Do you hate Hassan? Yeah, Hassan's a fucking.
Yeah, I don't
Ha-
like it.
I
Hassan and whoever that girl is.
Hassan is a piece of shit because he's not even true to himself. He simps to his audience so fucking hard, it's disgusting. Like, he'll fucking walk back on shit he says, like, at the slightest bit of fucking community outlash. And not only that, too, like, aside from being, like, a literal fucking communist, he doesn't even really believe in the shit that he fucking preaches either. The people that have worked for him, he doesn't even fucking pay them. Like, Destiny called him out on it before. He's like, I literally gave them a laptop. I gave them the means of their own production. Like, I gave them the means to fucking produce for them. So I was like, no, the fuck you didn't. You gave them the fucking means to work for you for free. Fucking cuck. Like, this is he's terrible. Hassan is like literally like the worst. Like, he's like a perfect picture of like the worst people on the far left. Like, literal fucking communist and literally just fucking grifter. Like, doesn't believe in any of it.
You ever watch his commentary on the 2020, not 2016, like election night?
Hassan?
That was
No.
horrible. It was just
No.
like a meltdown. It was like we're gonna go into like it was bad.
I can't. Like, I've seen enough of him from Destiny and he's just proven himself to be completely fucking worthless. So there's just no reason for me to like. I don't want to give him an extra view on his content. He's so disingenuous. Like these are things that I find to be like really really important, which is kind of why I think that Tanner is a fucking skeevy little fuck too, because I don't think that I think he's very disingenuous. It's like if he wasn't so disingenuous, he wouldn't just be doing I mean, I do shit on the fact that he's debating on Omega. Like maybe that's just because that's where the money is. That could be the case, but I don't see he doesn't make good arguments against these people. Well, no, fuck that too, because he sucks his own dick hard right after every single one anyway. So fuck him. Yeah, he's everything about his content is shit, dude. I genuinely think that he's terrified of debating somebody for real, because then his fucking 4-year-old fucking fans will see that he's doesn't know shit. And then Jake will fucking go into his room and put a gun in his mouth and blow his fucking brains out because Tanner got fucking shit stomped by somebody who can actually fucking speak and not stumble over their words and fucking just cry out about fucking stupid shit because they have like fucking feelings tied up into it and not give any facts. I don't know. I don't understand. I guess it makes sense too. Like you said, all his fans are fucking super young. How old is Jake? Is Jake like 16?
Yeah, he's like 16 or 17.
Okay, well he seems like mentally like fucking 12, so it checks out.
I think Jake should get in here. It's funny because they like compare themselves to like their idols. So like Tanner's Ben Shapiro, and then Jake's the comedy guy as Steven Crowder.
Steven
and it's
Crowder.
like,
Jake's not even
Steven Crowder
funny.
isn't really even like Steven. Yeah, he's not that even. He says he pulls in more views.
Then Tanner?
Yeah.
On
But
what?
Tanner had on TikTok. Tanner had like 300 people on his stream, and Jake had like 50.
Oh, well, how does Jake even? Does he do the Omegle thing too?
Yeah, he does the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
That's their whole thing. So they think they're like badass. It's funny though, because my parents put up 2 Biden signs
Uh,
in the front yard. I don't like it.
so
They also-
go ahead.
It's weird. It's weird. They have like a any functioning adult 2020 sign, and they also have a Biden Harris sign. So it just contradicts itself.
Well, it doesn't contradict itself. Basically it just says like, we'll take anybody, but we got Biden, so that's what we're going for. Like there's a meme going
that's
around
like a-
today. Like there's a meme that's. I understand what
Go
you're
ahead.
saying. You're saying like anybody, any intelligent human being, which is clearly a shot at Donald Trump. Like we're not to take this
Yeah,
literally.
no.
We know what it means. Like there's a meme going around today that says, "Fuck, I seen it. I've seen it all over today. Where's the fuck is it at?" This is like it basically the gist of it is I'm voting for Biden, but still this is bullshit. Like, and I feel like that's what
settle for Biden. That's such a bad slogan.
it's not, because it's fucking honest. It helps the people who are like,
Yeah, but there
well,
were
I don't
other
like either of
candidates that
them.
Were like perfect.
But not viable. Like they couldn't even fucking make it through the primaries if they fucking win. Like Bernie Sanders would be pulling way fucking harder against Trump than Biden. There's no doubt about that. He has a much more like invigorated base. They're much more vocal. Like the people that want him are actually impassioned. I think Bernie had like a much better chance of like reaching across lines and getting some of these younger people to fucking go with him. Like just like before, like in the 2016 elections, he pulled way better against Trump than the Democratic candidate who got picked was. But Bernie doesn't know how to make friends in fucking government, and that is super important. As much as I hate to admit, as much as I hate saying anything bad about Bernie, because like honestly, the guy's pretty fucking flawless. He's one of the most consistent politicians in the history of this country. This motherfucker, like you can go back on Twitter and find you can fucking find Justin Trudeau in blackface, bro. Justin Trudeau is a pretty squeaky clean world leader. They fucking found his blackface. You can't find nothing on Bernie. The man has.
The only thing you're gonna find is him getting arrested at like a Martin Luther King rally.
It makes him look great.
Oh, you're streaming?
Yeah. Do you see my mod? Is it like right around? Huh? Did you need me to do something? You sure? Yeah, Bernie is overwhelmingly consistent. I'd like whether like you agree or disagree with him on any of his politics. Like he's genuine. He's exactly who he presents himself to be, which is incredible. Oh, thank you.
You ever see him during when Trump gave his what was it, the State of the Union? And he goes, Trump's like talking about how like socialism and communism is like the one thing that like Americans don't need. And then it pans to fucking Bernie and like this like really like depressed looking like face.
No, I did not. But I mean, if I was Bernie, I'd probably be pretty depressed hearing him talk too. All he's thinking is like, I would have won. That's got to be rough for Bernie too, because like he got cheated in 2016. Even Trump says that Bernie got cheated in 2016, and like he would have won. Like his closest. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that the Democrats picked Joe?
What do you mean?
Isn't there something like you have to like vote for who you want as the candidate?
I mean, he definitely lost in the primaries. It wasn't like in 2016 where he was literally robbed of it. Like he got the votes and they were just like, "Well, super delegates, go fuck yourself." That's not how it happened here. If that's what you're asking.
God, I really wish we had Bernie.
Yeah, me too.
Bernie would definitely win.
Yeah, and I've always said too, even if he didn't get to accomplish anything that he wanted to, even if like everything he wanted to do got blocked in Congress and all that, just the fact that we would have like an honest to goodness decent human being as the president, it fucking feel good, man. Like he's a great speaker.
Stock anymore.
No, he's a good speaker. He motivates people, you know. I think he would have motivated America to do better and be better. He's kind of like the fucking father we all needed.
It's the grandpa that tells us stories.
A late blooming father. He didn't get that nut till he was in his 50s. And now that we're all adults, he fucking old as shit. But I don't know, he was good. We fucked up. Oh, what? No fucking way, dude. Do you play poker at all?
I play Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, I just had. So I had the flush. There was only 3 spades on the board, and I had the 9 high in my hand for the flush. The motherfucker had fucking flush too, and he had the 10. That is an impeccably bad beat. And the king and the fucking queen were already out there, so there was only fucking 3 cards out there that could have beaten me. Jack, ace, and a 10. And they had to have the other spade. That one hurt my feelings a little bit. Boy, Jake sure shut the fuck up quick too, huh?
Yeah.
You confused me too. You said you were gonna debate me. I thought you fucking had your mind made up on shit. I don't want you to debate me in bad faith.
I'll join there's a petition for the Trump fanboy club. I feel like Tanner is the president of the Trump cult.
He is like a walking Trump billboard, and that he talks really fast and doesn't say anything that's like
Really
he doesn't say anything with any integrity.
You can't really debate somebody if you don't know what the hell they're saying.
Well, I know what he's saying. His shit he's saying is just wrong. The people that he's talking to don't know what the fuck he's saying, though. It's not fair. It's like
Especially
watching a
if you're like
fucking trailer trash, fucking skinny, bald-headed white kid beat the shit out of a 3-year-old. And he spends a lot of time trying to make the person who is absolutely stupid look stupid too, which is super weird to me. Like I feel like the people that he's debating are stupid. So I feel like when he takes the time to try to paint them as stupid, he's sort of like trying to make it seem like he's making them look stupid rather than to like mask the fact that the people that he's talking to are dumb. Does that make sense?
yeah.
I don't know if he's consciously doing that or if he's just kind of a bully in general. So that just kind of works out for him, but that's definitely what happens. I've never seen anybody jerk themselves off so hard in their own debates. Oh, by the way, what time do you have to grab your cookies?
12:50. Shit.
You're welcome. Uh-oh, somebody burning cookies.
All right, they're not that bad. They're not that bad.
Okay, good. What time were you supposed to pull him out?
12:50.
Ooh.
12:57.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's 7 minutes late.
Do you think that at least Trump did some good things as president?
Marginally. There's not much good there. So like, the best thing that I do like the executive order to get people the unemployment back on. That's not bad, although I think that it was kind of a ploy because he did the $100 up to the states, but the states are all in desperate need of federal aid on every front, so he can use that to make some of the states that were hit the hardest in the beginning, which are all Democratic states, look bad when they can't afford it.
I have 37 likes on one of my comments.
Oh, good job.
Oh, I got.
Answer me on Facebook, lady.
Huh?
So answer me on Facebook. You started typing and then stopped.
I thought I sent something.
You sent nothing.
I didn't need to start typing and stuff.
Shit, my phone's dead.
Your phone's dead?
Yeah, I had something on how you like did something about like sex trafficking. How he sent like funds to like a sex trafficking prevention organization, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, sure. And we have increased on that, but like, I mean, I don't know how much of that like I can really give over to Trump. Like, this just seems like a common sense thing to do. So it's kind of like saying like you don't get applauded for not going to jail. This is just something you're supposed to do, you know? I'm not going to applaud you as a president for like working towards stopping sex trafficking. Like, this is like bare minimum stuff we're talking about here, right? Do you think that's fair to say?
Like, what do you mean?
So like that's kind of like saying like, hey, I've never been to jail before. Like, that's not really an accolade, right? This is just something that's expected of you. So like when you say like that Trump's like funded anti-sex trafficking, you're like, yeah, of course you did. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, this is absolutely expected of you. There's a big difference between me saying that like he's a bad president, and I think that there's not very many things that he's done good, and saying like there's not like a lot that's like neutral. I'm sure there's plenty of things that he's done that are like neutral. They're not like they're like fine, but like, and then there's things that just like are like, yes, that's correct to do, but it's not necessarily worthy of praise. And also, I just want to be really clear too. I'm not like a big fan of Obama. I was a big fan of Obama for the first 2 years. That was about it.
It was the same way.
Obama started off really, really strong. One thing I can say about Obama that is like very much to his credit, fantastic speaker, very motivational for our country. I really do think that he gave Americans an optimistic look like we haven't had in a really long time, especially coming out of the Bush era. I think that was something that a lot of people needed. Like basically all we ever talked about was war before that, and things just like there was like this dark cloud over the country, and he did give a lot of people hope, and I think that he probably mobilized a lot of people to do good and reach out in their community. So I saw that as like a really good thing. Our country did do like fairly well under him, which I can't necessarily give him all the credit for, but I do think that he had good leadership qualities. So like when you look at the kinds of things that like were mobilized under him, I see this as really good. But whereas I look at the kind of people that are mobilized under Donald Trump, It just seems like these are not the kind of people that I was hoping to see mobilized. Somebody in chat just said, "Play me in Goldfish," but I think they meant Go Fish.
The Go Fish Master.
Yeah, I don't know. So what kind of things do you think that Trump did that was good?
I mean, I'm not really like that politically inclined. Like, I don't really keep up with the news, but
Oh, okay.
like that's why I like to listen to debates when I do debates. But he's done like the sex trafficking thing, which I mean, he's done stimulus checks were pretty good.
Yeah, but the stimulus checks weren't him, right? This was passed through Congress. I mean, like if Trump didn't sign it, like they would have fucking nailed his ass to a cross. Like he could have kissed any chance of re-election goodbye if he didn't sign the stimulus bill.
Didn't he do something like black unemployment? Didn't that go down?
I don't think he took any direct actions that led to a result in black unemployment going down.
You think it was just like a
Well, I think like so.
previous thing that was slowly going down? It just kept the same incline.
Yeah,
So
so like
carried forward.
the first few years the president is in office, most of the change that we see in the country is a result of the prior president. Because like even like policies that Trump put into place weren't in effect when we started to see these numbers drop. So I don't really know how much credit we can give him for that. I do think that inversely, like what I think he's done bad. I think that his handling of COVID was just awful, like demonstrably awful.
President never wanted to downplay the virus. He always wanted to downplay the virus.
Yeah, and like that admission too. I don't think you can hide behind the like saying that like I wanted to reduce panic. Like, bro, like nobody was telling you to downplay it. Like he just decided that on his own.
I'm beginning to see more Biden Harris signs in my neighborhood and around.
Oh, that's good.
People have taken down the Trump signs.
Oh, really? You've seen the Trump signs replaced with Biden Harris signs?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that's another thing too, that Trump has lost a lot of support from people that voted for him the first time. There's a lot of people that just voted for Trump because they really didn't like Hillary, and like nobody knew what a Trump presidency was going to look like, right? Even when he got elected too, I was like, well, I can hope for the best. I don't really know what to expect. I was really hoping that like all the everything we saw up until the election was just sort of like him doing like the TV thing, so that way he could get elected, just sort of playing on like the populist thing, just to sort of like make it to that point, and that he would get down to business. Unfortunately, nothing at all changed when we got to that point, so that was a pretty big bummer for me. I really did hope for the best. Like I had not made up my mind about Donald Trump. Like I obviously didn't favor him. But I didn't say like, well, he's just gonna be like this or that. I didn't have any like super strong opinions. I just knew that I voted for Gary Johnson. I didn't want either of them. I thought Johnson was cool. I liked his platform pretty good. He did a really good job as a senator. Like there was just no way I could bring myself to vote for Hillary Clinton, and there was no way I could bring myself to vote for somebody who had absolutely no experience in politics whatsoever. And the lack of experience certainly shows too. Like, do you remember the first like year, like how many times we had to find out that Trump just didn't know shit? It was a really weird time.
Who is Jorgensen?
Jo Jorgensen?
Yeah.
She is the
She's like a
libertarian candidate. Yeah. I've completely given up on the Libertarian Party, though. They're all so fucking stupid.
Oh, have you seen the petitions going around to like vote independently for Jimmy Carter?
No. Stupid.
It's stupid, but I thought it was funny.
Like, I really think, like, so I in the 2016 election, I was the one sharing all the memes, like the only reason that Gary Johnson doesn't have a chance is because you think that he doesn't have a chance and sure and all that. But I kind of miss the fallacy in the fact that if nobody thinks that you have a chance, they're right. Like that's just how it is. But the reason why nobody thinks they have a chance is because most Americans don't even understand what the libertarian platform is. That's bad. Like you can't expect to go from like no representation to like the highest seat in the country. It just doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
That's kind of like me walking into a McDonald's and applying for the CEO position. They're like, well, what kind of experience do you have? I'm like, hey, pal, shut the fuck up. I'm going to run this bitch. All right? I appreciate you not calling me out on that's exactly what Trump did. But at least Trump had a platform. At least Trump used the Republican platform to get there, though.
Did you see that that theory where like Trump only won because of memes?
I mean, I don't know if I've seen the meme per se, but like I know like I understand this. Dude, memes did help him though. There's no doubt about that.
I watched like a 20-minute like documentary on like how Trump won by only using memes. This memes and popularity is how he won.
Well, yeah, that's just sort of a metaphor for populism, right? He is the populist candidate. We're gonna go half pot bet here. See if we can't scooch the weaklings out.
Do you know what the Articles of Confederation are?
Like, do I know the contents of them?
Yeah, like, do you know how like it works? Or have you heard of it before?
Like, you're talking about like the original Constitution?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like vaguely aware of it. I don't know what exactly was in it. It was just like the foundational document that we like had like the original colonies under.
Do you think that we should bring that back? Switch it out with the presidency? Because back then it didn't work because everybody was like on the break. I mean, now, and probably not the best time to bring it up, but I mean, it was a good first government. It worked for a little bit, and then people didn't like it because they had to pay taxes.
I guess I don't really see any like good use to this when we could just amend the Constitution to whatever we need it to be, right? Like I think the Constitution does a pretty good job. Like I mean, they do a really good job of subverting it. So like, that's a problem too. Like I don't see like the Articles of Confederation serving any better purpose than the Constitution does when it's so easily subverted by lawmakers anyway. Like
the Articles of Confederation is pretty much just like the same things what we have now, just no president. Every state represents itself.
Yeah, that's
like
that's
big
bad.
Committee.
Yeah, that can't work today because we like basically we'd be splitting the United States up into like 50 separate countries. And do you know how weak that would make us from like a military perspective? China would be up our ass.
Armed militias.
Yeah, just think about the amount of like civil war. Like, I guess it wouldn't be civil war because we'd all be like separate colonies and not like one unified front. But like, it would just be bad, dude. We'd have to come up with like separate trade agreements between each state and shit. It would just be a fucking mess, and it would result in there being like super poor state. Like California provides so much like of the revenue for this country. Like them alone, like separating them alone from like states like fucking Nebraska that are like out in the middle of nowhere and like Wyoming that just don't have shit, that like they just be fucked. It is super beneficial for us to be a united country. California, like it's so funny too. Like people say like we want to kick California out of the country. Like California would crush us economically if they split away. Like we would be begging them for scraps. Like every conservative who shit talks California should be so fucking grateful that they don't fucking try to secede from us. They hold so many cards.
Can we at least get rid of Florida?
Get rid of what?
Florida.
Yeah, fuck Florida, dude.
Florida doesn't need to be here.
Florida is like 80% old people, 20% heroin. All hillbillies. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Florida, dude.
Just make a big channel on the border of Florida and Georgia.
Just
cut it
fucking
off.
wait for global warming to fucking take care of it. Florida's gonna be gone from hurricanes in like 15 years anyway. You gotta get out of here. You can't fucking go all in on this shit. Well, you don't even act like you're thinking about it. Just get the fuck out of here. So I strictly streamed this in the fucking Discord, just so if you were wondering what the fuck I'm talking about at any time, you think I'm not just like crazy. Okay, I think he went AFK. He's definitely not calling this. Katna Rookskata. He tried bullying me a little bit. Oh no, I'm gonna fucking lose to the fucking 8. Get the fuck out of here, dude. What a fucking garbage poker player. He should not have called that with what he had. You fucking trash ass little bitch. Oh, I'm gonna have to take him out personally. So do you watch any Destiny at all?
Is that a game or is that a TV show?
He's a streamer.
Destiny.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Didn't he used to play Fortnite?
No. Destiny used to be like a semi-professional StarCraft player, but now he mostly does like philosophical and political content on Twitch. But he just got
switched to political content.
Well, Destiny was like one of the like founders of like the Twitch political community. He was one of the first, and he just got unpartnered last night. So I'm devastated because he's the only streamer that I actually watch. I mean, I don't watch his streams, I watch him on YouTube, but I still sub to him because I consume enough of his content to where I feel like I'm basically robbing him if I don't. Oh, he had some hot takes on the fucking Kyle, whatever the fuck his dick is. Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
So,
because I got a video of it. If you want me to show you.
So
It's from, like, a different
that.
angle.
So let me be clear. I think he's super fucking stupid for going there with a gun. He's really dumb for going there with a gun. I think that going there with a gun, no matter your reasons, knowing that there's riots there, I think that you're fucking stupid and inflammatory. But from a moral
we're talking
standpoint,
about whoever just joined.
Huh?
We're talking about whoever just joined. Stupid and inflammatory.
Oh.
Who just joined actually?
Not Logan. Hey, not Logan.
Not Logan.
Yeah, so I think that he's like super fucking stupid and inflammatory for going there with the gun. However, at the point when the people were chasing him and then he fired, I do think that when you're chasing somebody with a gun, you're implying lethal force. When you charge somebody who's holding a gun, the person holding the gun has to assume that you are willing to kill them. So at that point, I do think that he's justified morally in like firing upon people that are trying to chase him down. Not saying that like I don't have enough opinion on the initial shooting to know whether or not it was justified.
I got a video if you want me to send that to you.
Sure, I'll take a look at the video.
little bit graphic, but I mean, I got the same opinion on that thing. It's self-defense. In my opinion, from watching that video, it's self-defense because people are coming at him with like skateboards and stuff like that, trying to hit him. But he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Well, I know. I mean, I think that he's stupid for it. Like, he had the right to be there in the first place. That doesn't mean he's not super fucking stupid for doing it and super
Yeah, but
fucking inflammatory and kind of
how did
asking
he
for
even get
trouble.
there? Like, did his mom drive him there?
I mean, I don't know how that like. So like, I'm only gonna argue like the moral point, and so I don't think that any of that's actually relevant in the morality of the issue. It's super dumb because I don't want to be defending him here, but like from a strictly moral perspective, like he didn't. He's stupid, right? I think he's fucking dumb. I think that maybe he went there trying to be a hero, but none of the things that I think about him or my feelings about him and why he did what he did actually matter, right?
Yeah.
So once somebody comes at you and is charging at you when you have a firearm, you have to assume that they're willing to use lethal force. Because like, why would you charge somebody with a gun if you're not intending to use lethal force? They're exhibiting lethal force, so therefore, in order to come at them, you must be intending to use lethal force as well, right?
Yeah, that guy had he had a sidearm, I think.
Even if he didn't, I would still assume that he thought he had some way to take me out. Because I'm holding a gun. Why would you come at me if I'm holding a gun if you don't think you can take me out, right?
Yeah, I sent that video to you.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for it on
How-
fucking Facebook. I've actually seen this one.
Yeah, it's from the side angle. It's not from like the down. The
Yeah,
alley.
so when people are
down the
chasing
street.
after him, like I think at that point he is justified in using lethal force because like he must think that these people are trying to kill him. What's he supposed to do? Let him kill him? Whether or not he was in the right for the initial shot, was this the initial shooting?
What do you mean?
This wasn't the
That-
initial killing, right?
That was the one that he did.
Well, he killed more than one person.
I think they might have bled out, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying he killed more than one person.
Yeah, he killed 2, I think. I think 1 survived.
Okay, so he shot 3, right?
Yeah, shot 3, and then I think the guy with the skateboard survived.
Yeah, so let's see. I really don't like it when people argue the legality of this. Like, it's not an interesting debate. That's for the courts to decide, in my opinion. Okay, recklessly endangering, also face charges of 2 counts of first-degree homicide, 1 count of attempted homicide. Yeah. But when people are chasing you, so I'm trying to remember what the initial killing was about. Okay, yeah, there was some guy chasing after him. So yeah, I do think that when you're chasing after somebody with a gun, you're charging at somebody with a gun. It doesn't matter like what they know. It's just about like what you can be expected to assume from this. And what you can be expected to assume is that they are coming at you with lethal force. So I think that at least in that respect, it's justified. But I do think that he's super fucking stupid for being there. I do think that he was probably looking for trouble. So whether or not there might be some legal case for that, I don't have enough information about the law to really determine that.
Yeah, because it's 2 different states, right? Because he brought a firearm from a different state, and then it's different firearm. What do you call it? Laws.
Yeah.
But
So
that-
like
that-
the
that-
firearm laws, like I don't know, like I think he did probably break some law there.
That whole thing was.
Oh shit, Tanner's typing in the chat.
Uh-oh. That whole thing though was started by Alex Jones. He tried to get like an armed militia to come one of those BLM protests, which was completely dumb.
That does seem like he's stirring up trouble. I think that Alex Jones has really fallen from grace. There was a time where I think he actually had a lot of integrity. The stuff that he talked about was extremely verifiable. And I think that went right out the window the first time he went on Piers Morgan and he made a total jackass out of himself, and thereby by all the people that fucking told other people, hey, you should watch Alex Jones, you should subscribe to Infowars and stuff. He made all of us look like fucking idiots, and ever since then he's just gotten like more and more inflammatory and less like factual based. He just sort of became like a meme of himself basically, just super depressing because like he really was like. This is like the pre-Trump for sure, and even before that. Let me see. I can tell you exactly when I lost all faith in Alex Jones.
If you look in memes for this Discord, it's literally all just mostly Alex Jones for me.
So in January 7th, 2013, I lost all faith in Alex Jones.
He's still typing. When's he gonna type like a full ass essay?
He's probably super pissed that I talked all that shit. I didn't actually think he'd see any of it. I was just talking shit.
Oh, he stopped. He stopped typing. No. Oh, now he's typing again. Imagine they just kick you.
I mean, it would fit in with my he's scared narrative, wouldn't it?
I would just invite you back.
Oh man,
This better be like the Constitution response.
Like,
It'd be so good.
I really feel like we're just gonna see like a fucking manifesto of a fragile ego here.
The Republican Manifesto by Tanner.
I gotta go up and see what I actually said now. I was just fucking pissed that he
This
fucking
better
blew
be
me off
good.
again.
I think you were like, here's the first thing he said. He goes, "So Tanner is a shit debater. He agreed to debate me. And now he's backing out. He knows he can't debate anyone who's not a retard." TikTok. Oh, shit, he basically said, "Fuck this group" by hijacking them TikTok. And it just went on to fucking Jake sucking his dick.
Oh man. He's probably gonna pull the fucking Trump defense and say something like I'm too mean to him for him to debate me now. So basically, what happened was though the reason why I was so pissed and said that he blew me off was that he said that he would, and I was like, all right, make sure that you follow me so we can actually communicate here. I only had one message left to him on TikTok. You can only send 3 messages to somebody who's not following you. So this is basically his way of saying, oh, he didn't say shit. He went full 15-year-old girl, fucking wrote 12 paragraphs and then deleted it.
I said this better be the best written document
Let's
known
see.
to man.
I got the Discord up on my third monitor. I got my my stream stuff. I got my stream stuff on the second and the third, and then I also have Discord up there too. I have it positioned up above my my main monitor.
God, I really just want him to join the channel.
He can't, bro. He's too scared for that shit. Come on. So like I even fucking said, all right, we don't have to debate abortion because that's what Jake wanted us to debate. And how it's like the morality of abortion. He's like, well, I don't know. I'd have to like study up for it and stuff.
What do you mean he has to study up? He fucking
Yeah, I
did
know.
a whole live stream with that.
This is just his way of fucking trying to weasel out of it without saying that he's scared. And then when I said fuck the abortion stuff, I was like, oh, let's just debate left and right politics. He's like, well, I already told you I have a lot of other stuff going on. Like, bro, that's not what the fuck you said. You said I can probably do something like that this weekend or Monday. And I was like, all right, cool. Make sure you follow me so we can set something up. Not a single fucking word from this guy. And then when I bring it back up, yeah, I know.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
He'd probably be pretty pissed off at the stuff I said if he could read.
Oh no, he's typing again. This is gonna be so long.
He's
it's like Ellie types is like fuck you.
He's just like he's just like fucking like super user listening in here without showing up. Is that a thing? Can you do that?
Yeah.
You don't know,
I
do
don't think
you?
he can do it. Oh, here we go. I have a balance in college, leading my group, work, and other personal things in my life that is none of your business. And I'm also sorry to burst your bubble as well, but you're not at the top of the priority list. I said I would get considered
Yes,
a
I
date when I had time.
am home.
Also, you've not told me when you're about either, but it seems you like to figure out where you stand. If you're the capitalist and a socialist democrat, like your TikTok boy said. Boy, you're not a socialist democrat. No, he's a
Let's
social
talk to
democrat.
him.
Bruh, social democrats are like anti-capitalist. That's all I fucking like think about when you fucking just type this shit. He got your ass. He got a job and a life unlike you. You literally work from home and have a family, and you have more time than this guy.
I literally just posted the definition.
I said I was waiting for like a Love Labor's Lost by William Shakespeare. All I got was a Cat in the Hat.
That's not fair. Don't put that on Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss rhymed.
Cletus, oh, he's diverting the conversation. He's diverting the conversation. Or at least Jake is. I don't know about Tanner. Nice.
Oh.
What the hell is? What is going on?
Jake's moving me around VCs because he's mad at me. And then he turned push to talk on. Sure. Oh, I knew they didn't have shit.
What?
Hello.
I put mind readers.
Jake's big mad, bro.
Sorry, I was cleaning my keyboard. Oh, God, so immature. I split Oh, I spilled Dr. Pepper on it. I'm telling you what social democrats are. How can you identify as one who completely disagree with it? That's like saying, how can you be a Trump supporting gay?
Yeah, for real.
Like, what? How can you have the gas and flag if you support Trump? These people don't make sense. Discord of scaredy
Real.
cats. Let's see what gets in here. Okay, let's get down to the facts, okay? He's fucking. Stop typing. Oh, that's great.
Ooh, this is gonna be a good pot. Fuck yeah! Hit that king right off the flop. I'ma check it so this fucking big better can fucking run it. Come on. Come on, big better. I know you want a piece of this.
I don't even know what you want to debate about, my guy. That's what he said. Anything. Anything. That's what you've been saying. Any topic you choose. It's funny, they don't like to talk to anybody else who has a slightly lower IQ than them, or somebody who does not have the same political beliefs as them. Can you all not be assholes? People get other problems than this, but just because things are small, what does mean they're scared? It means they have a fucking life. Abortion. Wait, you're anti-abortion?
Oops.
Anti-wall.
Man, this guy is acting so fucking big. 50,000 fucking TikTok followers, and he wants to fucking sit there and type out a bunch of fucking nonsense because he's too scared to fucking come talk to me. Kinda sad. Oh, I wish I had my fucking phone. I'd make a fucking TikTok this and hit him on his home.
No, he stopped typing. Everybody stopped typing.
Yeah, because you ain't got no good response. You can type, you can talk. Oops.
Oh, that's gonna get him fired. Come on. Take the bait. Destroy the channel. Come on. Oh, big tough man's going to bed now. He's got a life to get to. Oh, you just fucking... Just dig in the dagger. just keep like labeling things off about like Trump, and he'll have to respond.
Jake's gonna get mad and start. Oh, there you go. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Not a lot. I got about 10 minutes. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So, you think Trump did a good job handling COVID?
Not fully, no. But I think he gets a lot of hate when looking at the information he had at the time, dealing with the WHO.
So, I do think that he probably should have listened to the World Health Organization. It seems like the countries that did listen to the World Health Organization are doing
Okay, so
way
actually,
better
I
than us
actually want
now.
to talk about that. So do you think Donald Trump should not have banned travel from China and Europe like the WHO said at the time he made the decision?
No,
no.
the travel ban on China was actually the one thing that he did with COVID that was really good, and then he sat on his ass and did nothing for a month and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Slow
he
down.
knows what he's supposed to do.
All right,
Because he knows
So
what
let's
he's
actually, yeah, I'd actually like to
two
decide
people
dissect
talk
this
at a
because
time. Slow it down,
because he
please.
actually, if you look at it, he properly supplied
just
the governors
predict the
with
future.
we actually started transporting
One
ventilators
person.
around the world. He properly supplied the governors. Well, let's talk about the governors that actually made terrible decisions with their decision making.
Yeah, State has done way
Donald
worse of a
Trump went
job.
into New
One
York.
person.
Sorry, I
talk,
can't
please.
hear you, Tanner.
So Donald Trump actually went into New York and built built hospitals for COVID patients. And what did Andrew Cuomo do with those patients? Instead of
Hi,
putting them in
bitches.
that hospital building actually built, he put them into nursing homes, which eventually led to a spike in deaths amongst nursing homes naturally. Gretchen Whitmer did the same thing. Gavin Newsom did the same
Whoa,
thing.
whoa. Richard Whitmore's had some of the most aggressive lockdown measures in the United States, and as a result, we went from being like, if you took us in June, if you took Michigan in June, they'd rank 36th as if you counted Michigan as a country in June, we would have been 36th as a country for having COVID, and now we're down to like record lows. Like her aggressive
No.
lockdown measures were
Well,
fucking
no shit,
amazing.
It's gonna be if you put it as a country because Michigan because what'd you say,
this is
Wisconsin
Tanner.
or whatever
This
the
is
fuck
Michigan,
it is?
Eldar.
Michigan.
Michigan.
This is
Of course,
Tanner
Michigan's
Eldar.
gonna be. Of course, Michigan's gonna be lower because of the amount of people. If you
No,
count it
that's
as a
not
country-
lower. 36 was high as fuck because Detroit got listed as one of the 8 different spots that people from China could come into when Trump did the lockdown. He decided
know
to put it in a
what's funny,
major
though?
metropolis like Detroit.
You know what's funny though? None of us in our lifetime have experienced this at all. None of us in our lifetime has
true.
Well, no, but-
experienced a global pandemic. What is he supposed to do? There's no.
Well, not
There's-
dismantling the
there's-
pandemic response team that Obama had in place would have been a really good first step.
Oh,
Listening to
he
medical
actually made a
experts would have been a
difference. He
really
made a
good first step.
difference. He actually took that team and combined it with a
So
different.
let's actually
make it
so
a bigger-
it's kind of
And
funny that you like to bring up Michigan. So let's actually bring up Michigan.
Yes,
So
let's.
Michigan actually, compared to all the neighboring states, actually had the highest spreading cases because she actually also allowed patients into nursing homes, which is absolutely terrible. She didn't know what she was doing. She was following orders from Cuomo, which we've seen how Cuomo went. He also did a pretty poor job. She likes to blame Donald Trump for not supplying her, but he's on phone calls with her, Mike Pence. They simply asked her, "What do you need?" "Oh, we need nothing." And then a week later, what was she begging Donald Trump for? More ventilators and more masks, more swabs. And what?
Wait, do you have any evidence to support that she said we need nothing?
She's exactly what she said. Yes, it is.
Okay, no, I asked if you had any evidence to support this claim.
Yeah, it was in a press briefing actually, not too long ago. Back in, I believe it was April. I believe.
You guys
when
want
it
to
was-
guess how long this render is gonna take?
So I don't think this is
Yeah,
true.
Actually, I got it free. In fact, Governor Whitmer spoke to President Trump. The focus was importance of PPP and resources to Michigan for healthcare workers. After a week before that, she said no.
Okay, so
So here we
what's
go.
this-
Here we go. Also, Michigan also had the most deaths compared to its neighboring number of deaths. I believe it was per day at the start of the coronavirus.
Yeah,
Indiana,
this is true.
49. Ohio, 55. Michigan, 259. Illinois, 99. Wisconsin, 25.
Illinois.
No, I'm not debating that Michigan had some of the worst COVID turnout in the beginning. It's because one of the places that people could come in from China was Detroit Metro Airport. So like this isn't any fault of hers. She also had some of the most aggressive lockdowns, and as a result of that, we've seen a steady decrease. As when her lockdown measures got put into place, we've seen a steady decrease of this. This was very good response by the governor.
Yeah, yeah.
Penis.
It's kind of funny how she flip-flopped. Oh, you can go up north. You know, you cannot go up north, actually, because if she would not have banned travel from going up north, if she didn't flip-flop all the time, it would never have spread that bad in the first place. She said, you can
No,
travel up
that's
north
not
every time.
true.
No, you
That's
can't
not
travel
true.
up
That's
north.
not
Which one is
true.
it?
I
It
know
is
I
true.
know.
I
No,
live in Michigan. I know
so
it.
I live in Michigan. I live right by
Okay.
Detroit. And I used to live in the Thumb, so I have a large community of people that I know up in the Thumb where it has barely traveled to.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
Barely travel. So let me get this straight. You knew exactly what the rule was. People could travel up north, and all of a sudden they can't travel up north. Which one is it? Which one is it? She traveled up north to her cabin. What did she do? She traveled up north to her cabin when he said people couldn't, and then she allowed it so she can go travel up north to her cabin, which actually ended up,
I'm saying
spreading
I
the
don't
cases
think
of coronavirus. That's actually true. Yes, it is.
I don't think that this had any meaningful impact on the spread.
Really, yeah. So traveling other places wouldn't spread their.
Well, I'm
coronavirus.
saying
That's
saying
an
people
exception.
can't travel doesn't actually stop them from doing it. They didn't stop doing it, and also people
Right,
up
but it
north.
also would lower the initiative to
Okay,
travel,
so
don't you think? Don't you think it
so
would lower the initiative to travel?
no, I think that people that
No,
didn't have
it
the
wouldn't.
initiative to.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, if you want to talk over me when I respond to you, that's fine. But I mean, it's not a very good way of like showing that you're right here, right? If I don't get to answer.
I didn't stop you, did I?
Yeah, yeah, you talked over me every time
No,
I
no, I
tried saying
didn't.
something.
I
Okay.
didn't stop you at
Okay,
all.
so then can I respond to that then?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the people that were traveling from downstate to up north, it wasn't very sizable. It was a lot of the people that were coming down from up north to down in mainland Michigan that were causing the spread of coronavirus predominantly. The people up north also took the very few people up north were taking any kind of security measures. This is up north is where we had the vast majority of people not wearing masks. They had the vast majority of people not caring where they traveled to. Like up in the thumb, you had a lot of people coming down to larger areas like Bay City. You had a lot of people coming down to Saginaw. You had a lot of people coming down to Detroit. It wasn't people going from
Is there any
downstate
proof
to
to
up
show
north.
that? Is there any
There's
proof to
not,
show?
because it's not true.
I mean, is there any proof to show what you said is true?
Because when you look, where did COVID-19 start? You admitted it to
Detroit.
If she
Absolutely.
simply took early action in banning the travel from Detroit to anywhere else in the country, it wouldn't have spread. I'm sorry, excuse me, in the state, it simply wouldn't have spread. You can claim that and you want to bring up north as the problem for the coronavirus spreading. They were
No,
in
I'm not.
lockdown
I'm
4
I'm
months
saying it
before any
wasn't.
case. My city was in lockdown for 4 months before the first case even hit here, and it.
Before the first
So
case
how
even
is
hit here,
it-
so you were in lockdown in November?
No, I said 4 weeks. Excuse me, 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
4 weeks.
Yeah, well, everywhere was in lockdown in Michigan
And you
as of
realize
March
when the
12th.
first case, when the first case came to my city is when shortly after 2 weeks after Governor Whitmer allowed people to travel from the cabins, and then she banned it, but it was just too late. It was too late. If she took proper action, properly banning travel from from Detroit areas down up north, it simply would not have spread throughout the state. It's common sense. And then let's talk about how she put patients in nursing homes. How does that make any sense to you? Can you please justify that one? Because I gotta hear this one.
1 minute.
Hello?
That's some ground rules. Just
Okay, so
two
go
people
ahead.
talk, please.
Okay, so first of all, I never said she did everything good, but I said that her strict lockdowns led to a significantly reduced. Like we got ours under control way faster than New York did. If you
I
look at the
agree. I agree
timeline.
with that, but I'm simply asking: could she have done better? Could she have done better?
So yeah, I'm gonna say that like
Okay.
it wasn't.
That's
Hang
the
on.
only statement I'm making.
Everybody could have
Agree
done
with
better,
you.
but when I'm saying every person during this could have done better. But when it comes to nursing home deaths, Detroit alone had 10,000 positive cases, and only 307 were from nursing homes. So we're talking about like a fraction of a percent here. You're acting like all these deaths came from nursing homes, and that's just not the case. Detroit
I didn't say
had
that.
307 out of
Can you find me-
10,000.
Can you find me any time in this argument where I've said that all of them are actually from?
I didn't even say that you said all of them. When you're making
Okay,
it sound
so
like
then
there's
what
this
is the point of
massive
making
number.
that- what is the point of making that statement then? If that's simply
Because
not true?
you keep leaning on these nursing home cases, and I'm pointing out that the nursing home cases
Right,
were an
but
extreme.
shouldn't we
It's
take proper
not.
action in trying to prevent every single kind of death? Because it's common sense. If we didn't do that, then we had 325 more
Okay,
Michiganders
so-
alive today. Wouldn't you agree with that statement?
Well, no, I didn't say 325. I said that's how many cases there were. But what I'm saying is that you can't take the perfect action of everything. But when you were saying that nursing homes is a big problem here, and it counts for less than 1% of the cases, that just doesn't make any fucking sense. That's like I could say, like, well, what about people in the?
You're putting words in my mouth.
Why do you keep playing up the nursing home deaths like they're even relevant?
Actually, hey, if you actually want to, the Detroit News actually even reported this too from actual medical records. New Michigan numbers 34% of COVID-19 deaths linked to nursing homes. So for you to make the simple false statement that it's under 1% is completely irrelevant because it's just not true.
Can you link me your data?
I will. I would love to.
Yeah.
This was as of June 15th as well, by the way.
Let's see. Yep. School department experienced problems getting all the facilities in the state information report pegged the number at 1,005 deaths. Since
Here we
then.
go, August 31st. Let's get a look at August 31st.
So it seems like, according to your source, this is average for for all states nursing home deaths. It's
Yep, I
not
would
like
agree-
this
also
is.
agree with that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, it seemed like she was doing things that everybody else was doing. It seemed like they were
Which is
doing the
okay-
things that
so,
we.
So it's okay to follow and not lead. I get it. Thank you.
So you would have had her take an action that was unknown to work rather than what everybody else was doing. Like this, she's bad
Well,
for
obviously
this.
it wasn't working. What,
Okay,
what
so
everybody else was doing.
why are we didn't know what was going to work at that time. She was doing what everybody else was doing.
okay,
So she was supposed to come up with some
I'm
magical
sorry, but I think
solution
we
instead of
become-
doing what
we
everybody
become
else was
people in
doing.
Nursing
You
homes.
just proved my point. You literally just proved my point.
I don't even know what
Putting
your point is.
COVID-19 patients into nursing homes, where old people, where it was already known to affect old people, that makes sense to you.
No, what I'm saying is, how is she supposed to come up with some magical solution that nobody else is? All of a sudden, she's like super bad for this. Like we get to shit on her because she did what other people were doing.
Can I ask you, how do you justify putting COVID-19 patients into nursing homes? Can I ask you that?
The same
Wait,
way
so
that
how are
everybody
you hating on
else
Trump
justified.
if he was just following everybody else? Like you're
he
literally disproving
wasn't.
your own
Well,
point.
just
You're
Tanner,
disproving your own
please.
point.
Also,
You're debunking
also,
your own
why
point
would
that
you?
you made.
How are
This
you
is a
gonna
one
justify?
hypocrite.
How are you?
I can't understand what anybody's saying anymore.
How are you gonna justify putting COVID-19 patients in nursing homes when the nursing home patients are the number one deaths or their leading cause of deaths are old people?
They weren't
Yeah,
at the
no,
time.
Especially coming
And
from a
here
medical
we
family.
go.
Especially coming from a
Here we
medical
go.
family.
Please, just
Here we go.
Tanner
I'll even
and
break.
Elder,
I'll even link you
please.
another
This is
source,
a
a more
one-on-one
updated
debate.
source.
I can't hear what you're saying. Too
I'll
many
even
people
link you
talking.
another source. This is actually just Michigan strictly too.
But, okay, what I'm saying is, like, you can't demonize her without, like, we can just condemn the whole system and say the whole system did it wrong. That's fine, but to single her out and say that she did it wrong is very disingenuous.
It's just,
But then why
so
are you singling? But why are you singling out Donald Trump then?
Well, we could talk about Donald Trump, but he decided to focus on Gretchen
Being a
Whitmore.
hypocrite. Just admit it. Like seriously, dude. Like just admit.
Please be
Okay,
quiet.
I muted him
Please
so
be
I can't hear
quiet.
him anymore. So I'm just saying it's like super disingenuous to single her out only. I muted him too. You can't single out one person and say that she did this bad when this is what all the other states were doing. Whereas when we talk about Donald Trump,
all about the other states, those same other states doing the same bad things. And I'm saying it's terrible to be a follower and not be a leader and try to take common sense action and not putting COVID
Okay,
patients into
sure,
a bunch of
we can.
people.
Okay, I'm not saying that she took optimal action in this area, but I'm saying nobody did. So
Okay,
like
so
correct. She wasn't the one that came up with the best solution. That's fine. Everybody failed in this department. It wasn't just her. There's no reason to point a finger at her.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. At the beginning, I'm gonna just go through everything here, and I just want a yes or no answer at the end. So let me get this straight. At the beginning, I said that the governors failed to do their job. Places like New York, Michigan, etc. We started talking about Michigan specifically. I said I think that she could have done a better job, and she didn't do a great job beginning at the start of her coronavirus efforts, which you have just agreed to me stating. You simply agreed with my statement. So thank you, I guess.
I said she could have done a better job. Everybody could have done a better job. Sure. These are governors. They only were very limited in power and resource and what they could do.
Why are you trying to debate me when you literally agree with what I said and you tried debating me and literally got proven false and now you're agreeing with me?
No, what I'm saying is there's no point in like you're pointing her out as though she did something that was different than what everybody else is doing.
In cases, because I was talking about how they were all prepared by the president and they actually simply failed to do their job.
Okay, so I still don't see how this correlates to Trump doing a good job when it comes to COVID.
Because he properly supplied these governors that just failed to ask for federal help, and he's also given.
And I actually still haven't seen any data to support that.
What?
I still don't see this
Okay,
information. Before Trump actually provided more care to Michigan when we really needed it, it took a long time. It took a lot of pressing for that to happen. There's like that famous lady from Michigan quote says, "We don't want to talk to him," you know.
Actually, yeah, when it's Mike Pence, that's actually the leader of the task force. He's the one on the calls with the governors.
Yeah, but Trump was the one who said we don't want to talk to her.
Right, but I'm telling you right now, Trump's not the one on the phone calls talking to them.
Okay, that's fine, but why isn't he taking a more proactive action to make sure that these things are getting taken care of then?
Because he happens to have to deal with everything else that a president has to deal with. So Mike Pence is the leader of the coronavirus task force.
Okay, so also I think that it's a really bad idea to
Anthony
put the guy in
Fauci.
charge who overwhelmingly failed in the AIDS pandemic or epidemic, and put him in charge of another task force like this. But that's beside the point. I think that he did a terrible job as far as like uniting the country about the coronavirus. We had no national front to attack this on whatsoever, which is super terrible. And also, too, like, what would you be your reasoning why the United States has the largest amount of cases in a first world
We do
country?
more testing per capita. It's been proven.
Okay, so more testing doesn't give you more cases.
Really. And one of the largest populations in the world, and doing more testing doesn't give you more cases is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
No, so it seems like other countries have a lot less cases per capita, even if you account for testing. Like this has already been
I'll
like
tell you the stories. We
so
have one
like
of the high. We also, I like how you bring this up, but you don't like to talk about how we have one of the highest mortality rates per case. Actually, the highest mortality rate to cases in the world, which is kind of funny. You don't like to bring that up, which is fine.
No,
'cause
I have-
know you don't
I have
like
no
to
issue with
use
that.
The fact that debunks your fact.
that doesn't debunk anything.
We have one of the highest mortality rates to cases. So
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
Do you think so? Does Donald Trump not get credit for that?
Highest mortality rate means highest number of people that die. Maybe you're
No,
using the words wrong.
recovering. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Highest people recovering.
It,
From
it
the
depends. It
coronavirus.
depends on the region. So like Michigan averages at about a 6% mortality rate, which means about 6% of people that get COVID die.
Well, and I'm telling you right now, we have in the world we have the highest recovery rate amongst coronavirus in any other country. Is that a bad thing? Yes or no?
I'm not sure that that's true.
It is true.
Let me see. Where are you getting your information from? I'm not like I have to ask you to cite a source on this.
Okay. Sure.
Because I've never heard this to be
How's
true.
the podcast going, Ethan?
Elder.
Yeah.
Jake said to look at
What the
chat, I think? Look at his webcam.
No, I have like all the webcams turned off.
Oh, his webcam's turned off?
Yeah.
Let's say worth. I gotta find my source exactly. A while ago that I checked that.
Hold on, give me.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay, Alright, Jake, show it again. Okay, Jake is saying because we have the most amount of. Is it people?
We don't have the
in
most
our
amount of
country
people.
than the top countries. What the hell even is that? Because we have the most amount of people in our country than the top countries combined.
That's not true at all. That's not even close to true.
He's saying that that's not true.
Yeah, we don't have the largest population.
Okay, everybody's
So
talking at the
I
same
guess my
time.
question for you, my question for you, what could Donald Trump have done better? What would you
Wait, hang
do
on.
differently?
Hang on. Are we conceding that we don't have the highest recovery rate?
I'm still in the process of finding it for you. 'Cause It's been a
Gotcha.
while since I've seen it, but can you explain to me what Donald Trump could have done better in the coronavirus? I
So-
don't think he's done the best
so-
job, but what could he have done better?
Sure. So for one, not touting hydroxychloroquine as like a good drug when there was no medical research to support this idea, and many times when he did promote it, there was like studies that suggested to the contrary. I actually have like a 3-hour stream where I talked to a doctor about this too, and he confirmed like there's like no reason to have done that whatsoever, and it caused demonstrable harm. Especially when it comes to like when we're trying to run trials for other drugs that might work, we're having a really hard time getting people into other trials because they only wanted to get into the hydroxychloroquine trials, even though almost all of those have been shut down now. People are just not interested in trying out other drugs. I think that not having a unified national front to this is super bad. Like we should have had,
Obviously, we
we
don't
should
know
have
what
had.
the coronavirus task force is.
So, but we didn't though. We were letting states decide how to handle it instead of having national policy in place to tackle this. Like we didn't have like lockdown procedures nationwide. We didn't even have a
Because it's
national
the
mask
governor's
mandate.
responsibility to run their states right.
So you mean to tell me that unlike all the other countries who had national mandates in place and are doing significantly better than us, we were better off just going state
I'm
by
sorry,
state?
but is everybody else's federal government different than the United States of America? Yes or no?
Does the federal government have anything to do with how people die and recover from and spread a disease?
Yes, when you have to take into account a different constitution, a different system of government, and states' rights and
But
government
whoa,
rights,
whoa,
yes, you absolutely do.
that's not
Compared
fair
to
at
other
all.
Countries.
That's to imply that we don't ever have any national policy for anything ever.
And we have a national policy now. Yes, we do. And it was coronavirus task force, if I recall, was actually made up pretty fast. Same with Operation Warp Speed.
The coronavirus task force being created didn't create any national policy. We still didn't have a mask mandate in the country. We still didn't have.
You cannot expect to nationally mandate a mask, especially when Anthony Fauci at first says masks were not needed. We're not needed. Well,
He didn't have first.
If you look,
and
that's when the peak of coronavirus hit. When Anthony Fauci said, "Hey, mask, you don't need mask. You don't need mask."
I mean, it seems like other countries were able to do it, and it seems like that helped them out a whole lot. We can see like direct correlations to
and
this.
Again, it doesn't matter what other countries are doing. We're talking about the United States of America and what the American population would do, because you've seen that some states actually made a requirement to put on masks, and some people still aren't taking effect into it. And
So-
that's the people's choice. You cannot actually think people would actually listen to the federal government when they say,
Okay,
"Hey,
so-
you have to put on a
okay,
mask."
so
It's
then
just
what's the
simply not
point-
gonna happen. It's absolutely
So then what's the
ridiculous.
point in
It's like the
passing
same
any
thing,
laws
hey,
ever?
Hey, you guys can't do drugs. You can't do drugs, and people still do drugs.
Okay, so then what you're saying is there's no point in making any laws ever because people are going to do whatever they want, and the making something illegal isn't a deterrent at all.
You want to repeat what you just said?
So-
Other people are
so-
trying to talk over.
Oh yeah, I have them all muted. So basically your argument is saying that laws don't do anything, so there's no point in making a national law to prevent people from doing anything because they're going to do whatever they want anyways.
It would lower the people short, and that's what states recommended. The federal government recommended masks. It's true. The federal government recommended
Trump didn't
masks.
even
States-
endorse mask wearing for a very long time. He was
but
super
you
late
gotta
to the
realize
ballgame.
the states did. They had their own laws and put it in effect pretty early on.
But
to
states don't
force
have the
them.
kind of reach that the president does. If the president
The states
endorsed
have
masks,
jurisdiction over their own
Okay.
citizens. You do not realize that, do you?
okay, but the federal government can make laws that states have to follow. That's what federal law is.
Yes, but why? What if the states actually did a good job at running their states? They would have done it themselves. Would they have not? Yes or no?
It's irrelevant. That doesn't mean he shouldn't
It's
have
not
taken
irrelevant.
action.
No, it's not at all. Because when the states have jurisdiction over their own, it's not irrelevant at all.
Yeah, when states have the ability to do this and they're not doing it, it's time for the federal government to step in and take action and make sure that the right things are happening.
And they did, and that's what you're not realizing.
When? What action are we talking about? What national action? Making a coronavirus task force isn't a policy at all.
It's not a
This
policy
is
at
not a
all, but
policy.
They started implementing policies. They started supplying governors with even more.
What kind of national
started-
policy did the coronavirus task force put into place?
We started transporting ventilators, swabs, etc. Things that we need. We started expanding testing, not only just here in the nation, but also in other countries. That's why other countries are doing actually really successful, because we started transporting ventilators across the world and not just in the United States of America.
None of the things that you're saying are contradicting what I'm saying. I'm saying what policy did the coronavirus task force put into place? You're gish galloping like crazy, bro.
Sending them recommendations to make for their own states.
That's not policy.
That is right. But recommending things to the states, because the states run their. Are you not familiar? I believe is the 10th Amendment, states' rights. Everything that's not in the Constitution automatically goes to the states.
So yeah, all he has to do is declare an emergency, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Not only that, you're still ignoring the fact that national policy exists for all kinds of things. We have national laws for all kinds of things. Not everything is delegated to the states. During
Right,
national
not like
emergencies,
that. I'm a
the
believer in
president
states'
is.
rights. No.
Okay, that's not. Okay, we're
That's
talking
federal
about.
government.
That has nothing to do with us not having a national front. National front has made every other country more successful in combating COVID. If we're talking about whether or not you agree with states' rights or this or that, that's fine. We can talk about that too. But I'm talking about not doing the things that needed to be done to take care of
What policies
COVID.
would you have implemented? Because mask mandates wouldn't work. It didn't work amongst the states. It wouldn't work among the federal government, like I said. So what policy would you have actually implemented that could have actually been impactful?
So I mean, we could have done lockdowns. We could have done contact tracing way sooner than we did.
And
We could have.
the whole nation to lock down.
I mean, we could have implemented it in hot areas nationally and not waited for governors to get on board. Are you also familiar with the document that came out that showed that? Okay.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So I understand what you're saying. Because the governors of America, the governors of the United States have failed, it's all of a sudden Donald Trump's reliability to bail them out without holding them accountable. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
So because the governors failed, it is now Donald Trump's responsibility to bail them out without holding them accountable. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Hmm.
I'm saying that he
So
should
what
have
are you
taken.
saying
I'm saying
exactly?
he should have taken action that superseded what any of the. We should have had national policy, like like super soon, like right out the gates. We should have had some sort of national policy that states wouldn't have been able to violate. Are you familiar with the report that came out that showed that they were deliberately withholding aid to states that were Democrat, so that way they could make them look bad later on?
No, I'm actually not because it's just simply not true. If you actually look at New York, California, Michigan, and even Andrew Cuomo actually applauded Donald Trump at one point for actually supplying
Okay,
them
so
with
hang
the
on.
need.
I have it.
Okay, yeah.
Use that
I'm,
one.
I'm assuming you're actually referring to Jared Kushner's phone call, what he recommended to the president, and which actually has been debunked before, because Jared Kushner actually has nothing to do with the coronavirus task force, and quite frankly, it is actually just Mike Pence, Donald Trump, Anthony Fauci, and the other doctors that were there at the time.
Shit, I gotta fold that. You saying he has nothing to do with the coronavirus task force?
I didn't say that.
Can
Said-
you repeat that then?
I said Jared Kushner is the one that suggested that. It didn't actually happen. If you actually look at the Governor Gretchen Whitmer, perfectly supplied. Governor Gavin Newsom, perfectly supplied. Andrew Cuomo, perfectly supplied. Even applauded Donald Trump for supplying them properly. So Jared Kushner has nothing to do with the coronavirus task force. Donald Trump does. Mike Pence does. They're the
Okay.
ones in the phone call, not Jared Kushner.
Okay, so I'm really curious as to like why like are you saying that he has anything to do with the coronavirus task force or not?
Jared, are you talking about Jared Kushner?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared Kushner is, frankly, he is just an outsider to the whole thing. He's nothing. He doesn't make decisions.
You don't think he has
He's
any
not.
influence in it whatsoever?
Only thing he does is a talking point to the president. He literally makes absolutely zero decisions based on the coronavirus task force. He has nothing to do with it.
So
He's a
what is
national
this?
security advisor, I believe. A
Okay.
special advisor.
So you don't think that a national security advisor has any role to play in the
Well,
handling
actually,
of
not even a
national
national
security?
advisor again. And actually, no, the actual national security advisor has nothing to do with the actual coronavirus. Jared Kushner is just
Well,
literally a
this was
nobody
your
in the White House
words.
as an advisor.
Well, this was your
So
words
can I
saying
ask
he
you why
was.
you think coronavirus bailouts for Democrat-ran cities? Because they wouldn't need these bailouts if they actually did a good job at running their states, correct?
Well, that's not true. Certain states needed to lock down. Wait. What do you mean by bailouts? Are you talking about like the increased unemployment, or are we talking about like the small businesses?
Well,
Like,
you keep the
wait,
Democrat
what?
House leadership insists that any hold on, excuse me.
Yeah,
So why
I
do you think? What makes you think that Donald Trump withheld this aid? Because it's been, like I said, it was only actually a conspiracy theory based on what Jared Kushner's phone call said, and quite frankly, it's just not true.
Okay, so I think that I guess neither one of us can actually prove this point because like if I mean he is part of the task force, I guess can you give me a reason why he would lie about this on his phone call?
It was just simply a suggestion during the phone call, not an actual "we're doing it."
You don't see this as troublesome or worrisome at all that somebody in this position is suggesting these sorts of things?
Well, quite frankly, like I said, Jared Kushner has nothing to do with the coronavirus task force. Simply
He has
not a part of it.
nothing to do with it.
He's not a part of the coronavirus task force. No. Jared Kushner is not a part of the coronavirus task force. No.
1 minute. I don't know if that's true. Give me 1 second.
Actually, President Trump did increase federal funding to help states recover from the coronavirus because to the blue states, and he actually
Wait.
it's
How come every
Republicans.
time that I look up his relation to it, everything says that he's running the coronavirus task force?
Jared Kushner's not running the coronavirus task force. It's Mike
Well,
Pence.
why? Okay, so can you explain to me why like everything that I look up on this says that he's running the coronavirus task force? Can you maybe give me some kind of information that would explain better what his role is in this? Because everything that I see says he's running it.
Okay.
The
I'll
Trump administration
happily show you
solution seemed
running.
to okay, so like even this here, the Trump administration solutions to everything seems to be just put Jared in charge of it. This is in reference to the coronavirus.
Here we go. So
So, like-
actually, and you also, and hold on, you also said he withheld aid from blue states, but President Trump actually increased federal funding
In
to
the
help
beginning,
states.
in the beginning, in the
This
beginning.
isn't- Okay, so when is the beginning to you?
I'm saying that the before. Hang on a minute. 1 minute.
Okay, right here.
So
Mike
before-
Pence, coronavirus task force is leading the coronavirus task force.
So like literally, if you type in Jared Kushner role on task force, it's
And I'm telling you,
everything
it's
refers
not
to it as
true,
his.
Nope, and I'm just telling you, it's just simply not true. I'll link you the source right here.
Kushner takes force of
Donald Trump-
coronavirus response. Trump's son-in-law sets up shop at FEMA's his portfolio of balloons, including
Yeah, just like
manufacturers
your
flying
source,
long-term
literally Donald
planning.
Trump tapping Mike Pence as the leader of the coronavirus task force.
What's the date on that?
April 29th, short 4 minutes.
Okay, and so what do you make of like everything stating him as the leader of the task force?
Okay, I can say everything too, but it's just not. It's not true because Vice President Mike Pence never stepped down from leading the task force, did he?
Hang on a minute. Jared
Can you also
Kushner.
so other than making a national mandate for masks, which just simply isn't possible, can you name me one thing national policy that you would have implemented that
I
would
did.
actually have been better for the United
Contact
States?
tracing.
What was that?
Contact tracing.
What do you mean by contact tracing?
Contact tracing is a method that other states have, or other countries have used with remarkable success. Whenever somebody is confirmed to have coronavirus, they get in contact with every person that person has been in contact with over the last several days, and they make sure that they get tested, and then this sort of stems out and branches out to other people they've had contact with as well.
Mm-hmm.
This has been
Okay.
remarkably successful in other countries, like South Korea, for example. Contact tracing has been like championed as like the #1 reason why they were able to get it under control so quickly and so well. They got their first. They got their first case the same day as the United States, and they actually got it taken care of very fast. Even though they had a quick spike in the beginning with contact tracing and rapid testing, they got it done really quick. And also, too, I also fault Trump for not getting testing sooner in the United States. We had a huge delay on getting testing to citizens, and not only that, too, getting adequate testing.
So actually, I don't think contract tracing would actually have worked in the United States. If you look at it, the people just they're not going to go get traced. Frankly, you can't make somebody go get tested. You can't do it. It's just not possible to actually.
Okay, so
do
we
that.
shouldn't have tried doing the thing that was shown to be
Sure,
the
we
most
can try,
successful, but we
We
didn't.
can try, but Arizona tried. Yes, they did. Arizona tried. It just did not work. Other places have tried. It just didn't work. It did not work in the United States. It failed in states for that reason.
So we didn't try it in the beginning. So we didn't try it in the beginning. We waited really late in the game to try this, to basically the point of irrelevancy. We had way too many cases for contract tracing.
When would you consider late? What date would you consider late? June and
I-
on?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
If
So we actually tried it in May. So that's actually not too late, as according to your circumstances.
well, I'm not saying
So-
I'm not saying that's when it would have been most effective. I'm saying we should have started contact tracing immediately as soon as it got here. What you're saying when it was too late, when it was so far gone to where it'd be completely irrelevant?
So what I'm saying is you made the
It depends
claim
on
that
the area.
June and on is too late. We tried it in May. It didn't work in May.
No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that it would for sure be effective. But you picked June, and I agreed that was way too late.
Okay, thank you, and you agreed, and I told you that.
I didn't say that was the soonest that it could have been done for it to be effective either, though.
Right, but
You're
but
putting
made the
words in
claim
my
that we
mouth.
tried it too late, and we just simply didn't try it too late in your circumstances
No.
that you have listed.
No. I'm just agreeing that June
That's
is
just
too
me.
late. I'm not saying that times before that isn't either. It would depend on the area. I'm
Health
saying that we
officials
should have been
said
doing it
something.
out of the gates.
Even health officials, like actual health officials trying to run it in states, said no thanks to contact tracing as well.
Well, that's why I'm saying that the president should have mandated it. Shouldn't have been up to
But
these
why would
individual
he go
areas.
against Why would he go
I
against
mean-
health officials? If the
I mean,
health
he's
officials
been-
are the
he's
ones
been-
that did such a great job.
He's been going against health officials pretty consistently.
And health officials said no, and you listened to him.
I mean, did he listen to them? Did he try that and they told him not to? I'm pretty sure he didn't try a national mandate for contact tracing.
No thanks.
Okay, that's
no
not,
thanks.
okay. Okay, look, you're not addressing what I'm saying here. You just keep repeating the same thing, but it's not addressing what I'm saying. Did Donald Trump attempt to do a national contact tracing policy and then have it get shot down by health officials backed by like public support? No, that's not what happened.
No,
He
because
never
health
even
officials
attempted
are
it.
already-
He never
No,
even
to-
attempted it.
That's because why would he when health officials are saying no? Why
No.
would he?
Which?
would he?
How many
would he?
health officials
Why
are
would
we talking about?
The health right here. I'll link you the source.
Like,
Not super. It's not super complicated to understand why technologists are having a hard time getting traction. Traditional contact tracing has been honed over decades of response to disease outbreaks. Officials have patients where they have been and who they've been near. Then they suggest those people get tested for the disease and make sure they are quarantined if necessary. Quickly identifying the problem with the virus can slow the spread of the disease, which does not work because simply disease, especially with the coronavirus specifically. Let's talk about the coronavirus. It takes you 2 weeks to know if you even have symptoms. Those
no.
people
Up
already-
to. You can
yeah,
know.
correct.
You
Up
can.
to
You
2
can know
weeks.
as soon as 2 days
Before they-
later.
Yeah, before they know disease, they probably already spread it to other people. So simply, would not work if you're already spreading it to other people.
I don't know. It looks like everything that I'm looking up says contact tracing is the key way to slow COVID. Contact
So
tracing.
explain to me with common sense why it would work if, let's just say if they've already been in contact with people they haven't had coronavirus. Because if you don't get symptoms after a very long time, chances are you've probably already exposed it to people, and those people already exposed it to people, and so on. Would you agree with that? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's why you contact. That's the whole point of contact tracing. You find out who they've been in contact with. So basically, we're trying to. Okay, it's too late for the people you've came in contact with, but the idea is that we get a hold of all these people. It stems out and branches out so that we cut it off before it can continue to spread. I mean, it seems like it works really well in all the places where it was implemented nationally. This is credited for the reason why some countries have next to no COVID cases anymore. This is championed. It's nobody even debates that this is the reason why.
Give me a source.
South Korea.
Give me a state. Just give me South Korea. All right, let's get into South Korea. You believe South Korea? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think contact tracing?
Contact tracing, yes. Here you go. I got
Would
right
you
from
also,
the.
would you also believe that,
Effective
would you also
contact
believe
tracing
that-
is critical to so this is straight from the CDC itself. Effective contact tracing is critical to controlling the spread of coronavirus disease COVID-19. South Korea adopted a rigorous contact tracing program comprised of traditional shoe and leather epidemiology and new methods of tracking contacts by linking large databases, positioning systems, credit card transactions, and closed circuit television. Do you describe nationwide COVID contact tracing program in South Korea to guide evidence-based policy to mitigate the pandemic? So this is
And it's
actually
probably also easier to do contract tracing with a population of 51 million compared to 350 million, and people that aren't going to be listening to state mandated rules and federally mandated rules. Is just simply how it works.
Okay.
They also have a different governmental system with probably stricter laws. It's just not going to happen, man.
Well, your argument was that it wouldn't work.
You can't expect people to reach out to everybody.
No, we don't. We expect we don't expect these people to do it on their own. We expect the government to create a department that handles this, just like South Korea did. And actually, I don't even know if we have a higher population density. It doesn't really work when you use overall numbers. What we have to do is population density. It's how many people are packed into the amount of space.
Okay, but I'm telling you right now, they have less people. They have less people than the United States.
No, it doesn't matter how many total people they have. What matters is the population density. And I'm willing to bet that they have a higher population density than us. Oh yeah, they have like over 5 times the population density as us. Which means they have 5 times as many people packed into small areas. Which means it's much easier for the disease to spread from person to person as it is in the United States. So why on earth would we think that it wouldn't work here if it worked there?
Realize there's a cultural difference. People aren't going to listen.
People don't have to listen.
Do it. And we also could done more testing. We've done more testing than any other Any other
Okay,
country.
okay, you're not
And I also
debunking. You're
think-
not
I-
debunking my idea
Look,
that this would be
I think you're
effective.
missing my point. Look, I think you're missing my point I made at the beginning of this whole argument. I think that Donald Trump could have done it better. I think yes, there could have been some national policy implemented.
That's
I already
fine,
said
but
at
you were
the start,
actively arguing
I-
against the contact tracing when
I don't think contact
uh,
tracing is the best source of method. I think
I mean, it's the best proven source to reduce.
I honestly, I think. What do you think? What I think should have been better done is more prepping ahead of time when he knew it in February without causing mass panic. That's what I think. If you prepare,
Sure, I can agree with that too, but I think that contact tracing is the most proven method, and
if you
we
prepare-
waited way
what
too
I'm
late
telling
in
you
the
right now is
game.
if you prepare ahead of time, there's no need for contact tracing because you just won't need it because you're prepared
So-
already ahead of time.
By like not dismantling a pandemic response team and then haphazardly assembling one after the fact and putting the guy who had the last time he was in charge of handling a disease outbreak handle it very poorly and putting him in charge. So like doing not that.
Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Talking about Mike Pence.
Yeah.
He did a bad job with handling a pandemic before.
At the AIDS epidemic, yeah. He was in
So,
charge of that and he
what-
failed miserably.
AIDS epidemic. When was that? Were you talking about like in the 80s?
Yeah. He was in charge of that and he did very, very miserably at this.
Okay, let's see. Mike Pence and AIDS. Like I don't know about Mike Pence's history of AIDS, but
I got you. I got a Politico article right here for you. Sent it to you directly.
the HIV pandemic of 2015, not the 80s, right?
I'm sorry, yeah, from 2011 to 2015.
Okay. I'm not, like I said, I don't support everything Mike Pence does. With my simple stance on the whole.
Well, no, I was saying that it was really a bad idea to put him in
National
charge
effort.
when he flopped the last time he was put in charge of something similar.
What I'm talking about is my defense. My purpose of the argument is talking about
So-
a strengthened national.
So I'm gonna roll back so that we understand the relevance of why I'm talking about this. I was saying that one of the things that could have been done better, like you said, was by preparing better, by not disassembling the pandemic task force that was already in place, and then putting together one haphazardly and putting somebody who is known to be bad at this in charge of this. Because you're
What's
saying
the
that Mike
difference-
Pence.
you know what the difference between HIV and coronaviruses?
There's several differences, but I'm talking about when it comes to managing a health crisis, we put somebody in charge who did very poorly at his last shot at this. So I'm saying that this is bad. Disassembling the pandemic task force beforehand was bad, and then putting together one after the fact, after we're already in it, bad, because we disassembled the other one, and then putting somebody who did a bad job at it last time is also bad. Like, this isn't even controversial, right? I feel like this was a point that we would both agreed on.
And I've never offered any contention to Mike Pence being appointed to the task force team. No, being the best option for it. I never offered any contention.
No,
for that,
like I
so
said,
don't know why
I'm
you're
not.
bringing it up.
Well, I was putting this in something that we could agree with because you said things could have been done better, and I was saying, yeah, like
Absolutely.
this. So this isn't necessarily a disagreement unless you're telling me right now you disagree.
No, I never disagreed, and I probably won't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I do agree that things could have been done better by prepping ahead of time, like by not disassembling that. That would probably have been one of the best things we could have done. But then also too, like the things that I had mentioned, not boasting the hydroxychloroquine, that was extremely irresponsible. I also think that his rhetoric about it could have been a lot better. I think that if he had been more supportive and not contradicted Fauci after a lot of speeches, this would have been really good. Because Donald Trump has a really has a lot of power in his rhetoric, like few presidents that came before him. His followers really, like, they listened super hard on this. So if he had been really strong with the rhetoric about like what we should be doing with the pandemic, I think this would have had like a tremendous help in our reducing the spread of COVID. I
Would you
really feel
agree
like he
with,
should.
Also, some success in South Korea would be the United States of America helping them in some ways.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I can't deny that because I don't have anything on that. But I know that contact tracing is definitely like the key point here. Like, this is the thing that they had that nobody else had, and this is at the time they were like the poster child for this. And this was, you know, like if we want to look at the differences, like what was different here versus what was different everywhere else, it was the contact tracing. And this is the things that the most successful countries in combating COVID have used since to combat COVID. I do think that it's really unfortunate that we're kind of past the point where it's going to be super effective, because at this point, it's just spread too much. We can't possibly dig ourselves out of this hole by contact tracing anymore.
But like contact tracing has failed in other states, whether it's up to the governors that failed, that's a different thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think in order for it to be effective, we needed a unified national front for it. There's like a lot of things in this pandemic, like things aren't going to work state to state because states don't have like physical borders that keep people from moving between them. We need a national policy that everybody has to follow. Otherwise, like all these small state ideas are good and well, and maybe it can help like a community or two, but it's not going to work as the nation as a whole because we have to have everybody as a nation as a whole following the same guidelines. Otherwise, like if 7 states are doing the right thing and then 43 aren't, well, we have almost all of the entire country not doing what's right. And at least, too, if we had the entire country following certain things, then we can see certain things start to lapse in certain areas. We can kind of try to readjust, see what wasn't working with a unified front, and kind of go from there. But if we have all these different states doing all these different things, it's super hard to figure out what's working, what isn't working, and then make adjustments to it. Because then we have to rely on basically hopes and dreams to like try to get things under control.
What I'm trying to tell you is the U.S. has actually tried implementing contact tracing, but the problem is people weren't simply answering the phone. When you don't answer the phone, you don't get in contact with people, then they're still going out and spreading it to other people.
Sure, I'm not saying that it was perfect, but I mean they have successfully contact traced as well. But also too, I think that it would have been a lot different our perspectives on it if we had this done in the beginning.
But your thing is the federal government never tried this. But the point is they did try it.
No, this according to you is states governments, not federal government.
So even Anthony Fauci said it himself. He implemented. They talked to it. Fauci's not answering the phone when contact tracers are called. National Institute of Allergy and Infection Disease actually was the people that are actually trying to implement contact tracing in the United States, but people simply weren't answering the phone, and that's why it wouldn't work because a lot of people don't answer the phone to the federal government in the United States. It's just true, and that's why it wouldn't work, and that's why I believe preparation before time would actually have been better than contact tracing because it's proven that contact tracing did not work, even according to the National Institution and.
He said it's not going well in June. Yeah, he said it was not going well in June, but also too.
So why would you keep implementing a plan that's not working?
Well, we implemented it late as fuck. So, like I said, too, we've already had, like, it's really bad national rhetoric about the coronavirus. I think that one of the worst things that Trump has done is going back on things that medical professionals have said and putting this out there nationally. This creates distrust in the American people for medical professionals, which is super dangerous. And this is exactly what I would expect to see when this kind of rhetoric is out there.
When the WHO fails to do their job, this could have been stopped in December.
How did the WHO fail to do their job?
By the WHO.
How did they fail to do their job?
The WHO actually went in and investigated what was happening in China, but refusing not to and taking their word at it and labeling it as not human contagious, then there simply would not have been such a global pandemic. But the problem is they failed to do their job. They said
Hold on. So what kind of force is the WHO supposed to take into China to retrieve this data if China's telling them one thing?
It's their job to investigate.
No. Sure,
diseases.
But if China's not cooperative, how are they supposed to force China to cooperate?
It's their job.
Okay, you're not answering me.
That's why it's innate.
The WHO can only do stuff if countries volunteer. They don't have a military force. They can't force any countries to do anything. They do need a military force. If China says fuck off, okay.
So you think it's not the WHO's responsibility to find out?
Okay. Sure it is, but they can only do so much. They cannot force China to... What means do they have to force China to do this?
Even Joe Biden, the Democrat running for president, said that he would have had doctors in there from the WHO investigating it. Donald Trump said he's not upset with the WHO after he asked them to go in there and investigate. They failed to do that. They absolutely have the right to go in and investigate the coronavirus. They absolutely do. They're required, and they're required to get information from the Chinese government.
How are they supposed to do this if the Chinese government is saying this is all you're getting from us? How?
You simply go in and investigate. It's your job.
But if China's not letting you, how are they supposed to do it?
You're telling me
you can keep saying it's your job.
There's no way that the WHO could have gotten in there and investigated.
If China doesn't let them, no, they can't. How are they supposed to do it?
They absolutely can. That's what I'm saying.
How?
Go and investigate it, you idiot.
How? Like, is go some, like, ubiquitous magical action that bars any kind of, like, obstacle in your way? You could just go?
They were properly warned by China eventually. and they were probably warned, but they decided to stick by China's. They were warned, and they had the chances to actually go in and investigate it, but they took China's word at it, and they were properly funded. They were properly warned, and they just took China's word at it. And frankly, they could have went in and do it. They were allowed to, but they chose not to, and that's on them.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So actually, here we go. The mission-driven WHO would not have brazenly tweeted as late in January 14 that the preliminary investigations conducted by Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence to human transmission for coronavirus. But that claim was actually false, known to authorities in Wuhan. So it was proven false. It was known false, but the WHO decided to lie to the people of the world that it was not human transmissible.
Wait. You're saying that the World Health Organization lied to people?
Right here, the mission-driven WHO
Give me that.
said it was not. The preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities have not found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the novel. That claim was false and known by the authorities
Okay.
in Wuhan to be false.
So I feel like this is a horrible. You're horribly framing this. Check to see the United States without Beijing. Without
Oh, I mean, that's
for no
just-
interest. So CDC and World Health Organization did try to, and China rejected it, which means they're not allowed to just go in there. They can't just go in.
Right. But here, what I'm telling you is Chinese authorities allowed the WHO to do investigations. They did them. They lied to the people. Taiwan even told the WHO what was happening and that it was human transmissible, but they told in January 14th that it was not human transmissible, which allowed the cases to come to the United States, which allowed cases to go around the world. It didn't have to come here at all, is what I'm telling you. If the WHO did their job correctly.
Hold on. I'm seeing no evidence of this, of what you're saying.
Okay, we can go to the Atlantic.com/health archive. Why the World Health Organization failed.
Okay, but I'm talking about your claim that they lied.
Okay.
Did they lie or did they not find evidence?
So here's the exact word, the exact quote I'm going to read from you, from historical evidence of what the WHO
No,
did.
can you just give me
and
the
what was
source?
actually
If you give me
Yeah,
the source,
I'd
I
love
can
to.
find this myself.
So
It seems
here's
like they
the
did. It
exact-
seems like they did to give. They did do investigations, and just all the information they were given from China led them to this conclusion. So they were
the
impeded.
mission-
They were impeded by China. They can't pull information that isn't available to them.
So here it is, the mission-driven WHO, as of late January 14th, that preliminary investigations conducted by Chinese authorities
I
have
don't
found
have this.
no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the coronavirus. The
Okay.
claim was false and known by the authorities of Wuhan to be false, and Taiwan
Known by the
already
authorities
told
of Wuhan.
Hey,
This is
let me
China
finish.
lying to them.
You're not letting me finish. You're not
Can I-
letting me finish.
Okay,
Taiwan
can I
had
get this?
already told the WHO of the truth too, meaning they knew it was human transmission
Okay,
because
okay,
other
so-
countries even told them it
Hold
was
on,
true.
hold on.
Taiwan
So
conducted
Taiwan
their own
says-
investigations to find out it was human transmissible.
Okay, so Taiwan says something and China's saying something. So like now they have to believe Taiwan without evidence.
When they conducted their own investigations, telling them the truth, yes.
Okay,
Especially when it's a
can I
possibility of-
please get the
especially
source?
when- especially, like,
you're
if
reading off of?
if you ask me, if it's a possibility of a global pandemic, I think it should definitely be taken into serious accounts that like, something like that could be true.
Okay, can I please get your source?
I
You're
linked
reading,
it in
you're
the
reading
chat.
off. It's in chat. Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna take a look at this. Oh wait, I'm hitting the shit. I clicked the wrong chat.
And also, if you also look, China actually has a history of covering up epidemics in like 2003 of SARS.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm blaming China, not who.
Right, and I believe I don't think the WHO should have actually taken what the China said with any sort of credible evidence, considering Taiwan was saying something else. I think it's their job then to determine who is right and who is wrong, and I think they messed up big time by believing China.
I mean, you can't just make assumptions when you're given data. Like they have to be evidence driven. If they're lacking evidence, they're not allowed to. They're not
Right,
allowed to
right,
just
no.
say something they don't have the evidence for.
Correct, and that's why I'm saying that WHO tried that. They tried to
Yeah,
get into.
yeah.
They knew the truth. They knew the truth. From Taiwan's health authorities sent their own medical teams to Wuhan in December and did their own data
Okay,
collecting into China.
okay.
Taiwan
So
sent their own authorities to China, conducted research, and found out that was human transmissionable.
population are unlikely candidates.
Here,
for
I'll even link
success.
right here. If you actually, right here, it says Taiwan's health authorities sent their own
It
medical
looks
teams
like
to
we're not
Wuhan.
even, based on what you're
Those,
saying, it looks like we're not even reading the same thing.
those scientists confirmed human-to-human transmission, the most crucial piece of information for determining the difference between a local tragedy and now a global pandemic.
Hang on, I'm trying to read through this real quick here. About halfway through.
It's actually at the bottom where I'm reading that from, the how Taiwan went in and conducted their own research. And even Hong Kong health authorities on January 4th suspected human-to-human transmission was already occurring, and they also looked at their own evidence in contacts of Wuhan as well. So 2 different sets of health authorities confirmed that there would be human-to-human
Hang on,
transmission.
man. Let me look at your source here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like I can't agree with you if I can't get through this. Hong Kong has a slightly tougher time because they ignore contradicting divided incidents.
Bro, I gotta go to school. I gotta be up in like 4 hours for school, man, for college.
All right. I mean, I'd be happy to pick this up at another time.
Yeah, sure. I'd definitely like to talk about. I believe you're a socialist. I'd like to talk about socialism.
Yeah, man. See, debating me wasn't that bad after all, was it?
I just gotta go. I just gotta wake up soon.
Okay. I hope I've given you a little bit more satisfaction than these randos on TikTok. Think you have some pretty good rhetorical skills, and I feel like you're wasting them on fucking omegle turds.
Well, now we're banned permanently from that. So.
Well, you mean you're always welcome to come in here and debate me. I'm around pretty much anytime. You can set it up in advance too if you want. I'm always streaming when I'm in here, so you know, at least your debate's out there somewhere, right?
Sure.
All right, take it easy, buddy, and just so you know, I know things get heated in here. I get no hard feelings against
Hold
you.
on. I have a question before you leave. Did you happen to look over the source in WHO failing?
When you said you had to go to bed, I stopped. I stopped
no,
in the article.
I still have some time.
Okay, give me a minute here.
Yeah, just take your time.
So it looks like there's some problems with their leadership, but I don't see anything of like this vindictive lying. Like they had the information, deliberately withheld it. It seems like they had conflicting information, and they didn't have anything solid evidence to go off of to make the sort of declaration that you were looking for.
So the Hong Kong, what I'm saying here is the Hong Kong authorities suspected with their own evidence that there was human-to-human transmission in January 4th. Taiwan also suspected in December that they had evidence of human transmission. China also had a history of covering up epidemics, and WHO then went ahead on January 14th and said that the human transmission was not happening, which I believe with evidence from 2 other medical authorities conducting their own research and China having a past history of covering up epidemics, I think it is wrong to say, oh, no, it's not human transmissible. I think you should definitely be out there saying, look, human transmissional is definitely possible. We also taking a quicker look at it instead of just labeling it as not human transmissible, because if we said that,
they didn't say that it wasn't. They didn't say that. They said that there wasn't evidence of it because they didn't have that evidence of it.
Well, they did have evidence from 2 other countries. Is what I'm saying.
No, they had countries telling them that. They didn't present them evidence to
they had evidence of their own. Like I said, Hong Kong health authorities had evidence of their own with contacts in Wuhan. Taiwan went in there, investigated, have evidence of their own, accumulating evidence as well.
Counterparts break response patterns. Normally teams no invitation has come, but no one can explain.
And if they would have simply set out, and because what they said on January 14th, no evidence, clear evidence of human-to-human transmission, when there was actually evidence pointing to it. So I think
so there was things that suggest it. So there's things that suggest that it might be a possibility, which is a lot different than saying there's no clear evidence. The medical, like the bar for clear medical evidence is pretty high.
Which I think you definitely should be saying right there. Look, there's definitely some evidence pointing to it being human transmissible, and that other countries should partake in proper necessities of being ready,
Look,
possibly for
in
a
the medical profession, you have to be really careful on how you choose your words.
correct.
Because
Which
for one,
I would agree with that
for one,
statement.
you don't want to start a panic if there isn't clear evidence, and at that time there was not clear evidence. Having two different sources saying, "Hey, this might suggest this," is not the same as having clear evidence.
There
It's
was
kind of like
accumulating evidence.
the
There's
two
accumulating
sources
evidence.
have suggestive evidence.
Oh.
These were also small sample sizes too. This isn't something that any doctor could say this is conclusive data here. It's kind of like when a doctor says, "Hey, things look good, like we're not out of the woods yet." It doesn't
Well,
matter
well,
how
well-
good your charts look when you have a cancer diagnosis. They don't ever tell you like, "Hey, this is the thing." When it comes to something like a
Right.
pandemic, you do have to be on your toes. You do have to be careful with what your words are.
I would
And
have, I would that I would agree with that to an extent, but what you
and,
also have to
nobody
guess
nobody
is
thought that this was just fine. Even as far back as December, like everybody was very closely watching China to see how things developed. We knew something was going on. We didn't know what was going on yet. So I would definitely put the blame on China because China was deliberately like this is the source of the virus and they weren't able to get in there. So when we don't have anything from the source, like things from like Taiwan and things from Hong Kong, all we know about them is that they are also experiencing something. We didn't even have direct ties to knowing this was the exact same disease here. So it was
Right.
very important that they were careful on how they spoke about it.
Well,
Would you say that's fair?
What I'd have to refer back to my source where two health authorities went in, investigated it. China has a past history of lying about epidemics. They found out that they're actually lying, that the evidence of not being human transmissionable was false. Two other teams brought up saying that there's accumulated evidence of it being human transmissionable. I think
We
especially
didn't
with
find
China
that out
lying about
until
past
late
things,
in
I think you should-
January though. Like
Wait,
it says
actually,
right here.
It was beginning of January. It was January 4th. It was when
No,
Hong Kong
that's when those
tested
things
every-
happened. But like I said too, they couldn't even know that this was the same illness. We haven't even like fully identified COVID-19 and where it had spread yet. So to say that like these countries are saying, hey, here's this, all they're saying is like, hey, we have some markers that might hit similar, but also
they did
COVID.
know it was the same. They did know it was the same cases. That's the
They
point of
don't know that.
investigation.
They
They
didn't
did
know
know
that.
that, is what I'm
How
trying to
could
tell
how
you.
could they have known that when
They-
China wasn't giving them good information to begin with?
Because there's other people other than China.
Yeah, but if the disease,
investigations.
so the disease was primarily in China at this point, and we didn't know when people were getting sick in other countries if this was the same disease or not. This is when we were basically in the know nothing area. So like,
Right.
even for
And I'm
instance,
telling
there
you
was
right now it could have been prevented a lot sooner from going to other countries if the WHO did their job by saying, "Hey, there's something wrong here.
I'm not
Something
saying that
could be
they.
serious."
I'm not saying that they couldn't have acted better, but I don't like
you're
this
agreeing
framing
with
of them. No, what my issue this entire time has been with you saying they lied. That's what I'm
Well,
taking
the-
issue with.
What I'm
Lying
saying
is
the WHO
knowingly.
failed, and they said well, I think they
Sure,
could
I don't-
definitely worded
I-
their words better. 100%.
I don't take issue with saying that they should have done things better or they could have done things better. Maybe they could have been more discretion. But I took issue the whole time with you saying they lied. This is
my biggest
very.
thing with the WHO. What I'm saying is that they definitely knew there was some evidence that could have possibly contradict themselves. So by saying there's no clear evidence, what their exact words was, there's no evidence of saying it's human transmissionable when there actually is some evidence of
It's-
it being human transmissionable.
No,
And I
a
think
couple
you definitely
couple
could say-
reports
I
isn't
think you
the same as having
I think
evidence.
that's downplaying it when you could say there's definitely some evidence pointing towards it. I think you definitely choose your words a little bit different, absolutely, especially when there's other health authorities saying, hey, there's accumulating evidence of it actually being human transmissionable. I think you should definitely take into that account by saying, hey, we're overlooking
Two
evidence
Two
of
reports is
pos-
not evidence in the medical field at all.
Okay, so how many reports are saying that wasn't human transmissionable then?
I'm saying you're saying all they had was 2 reports that suggested that it
With-
might be.
with accumulating evidence. So how many reports were pointing to it not being human transmissionable?
That's you can't. There's nothing that's like
Can
you
you compare
can't.
the two when you're looking
No,
at the amount
no,
of evidence
you don't-
you're having between the two?
Like I said, it's not even verifiable at the time whether we were dealing with the same illness. They couldn't verify it because they weren't getting clear information from China.
But if you think if but they were getting
They didn't say that it.
information
They
from-
didn't say that it wasn't. They never said that it wasn't. They said there's not evidence. They can't make a claim about something without evidence.
I'm telling you right now, they had evidence, accumulating evidence that was accumulating by the days, And if you think it's possibly human transmissible, wouldn't common sense tell you that it's probably spreading to other countries, and that's why we're seeing a spike in random illnesses that we don't know about?
I'm saying that they didn't have this evidence that you're claiming.
I'm showing you a source that shows that they did have the evidence.
We have really vague terms in this piece that you gave me.
Like what?
I think like you said, like reports. Like I don't know. We're not. Without some more in depth about what we're talking about here, you can't make the kinds of claims that you're making here. And also, like I said too, the thing that I took issue with, the only thing that I took issue with you when you said this is that they lied. I don't agree that this characterization is correct.
What I actually said is I believe that what I meant by saying when I said they're lying. What they said was simply not objectively true, which is technically lying. When you could say, hey, there is actually evidence pointing to this.
Hang on.
Country should be taking precautions of what possibly could happen if it is human transmissible. Because obviously, if it's human transmissible, it's a big thing already in China. It's probably getting to other countries. Wouldn't you agree?
Okay, so I missed some of that. What I'm saying is they didn't lie. That was the only thing I took issue with, and when we spiraled in this whole thing, they did not lie.
What they did was objectively just not true. The statement they made.
Okay, there's no such thing as objectively true. Like
there is something called objectively true.
Okay, so I think that you're using this phrase. I think I know what you're saying. We could just say true. Let's just say true for the sake of when we're talking here. Because you like objective truths aren't something that we would use in the real world like this. Objective truth is a whole nother deal. It's not something that we're dealing with when we're talking about things like this. So I'm saying that they didn't have evidence of this. They had some things that suggested it.
Which I'm telling you, there's definitely some credible evidence pointing to a possible human transmissible thing.
That's not the same as having evidence.
Accumulating evidence. It literally says in my source there's accumulating evidence.
Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? What is this accumulating evidence? I don't even know what that means.
Evidence that is accumulating upon evidence.
Okay, using words to you can't.
Accumulating means more evidence building up. Cumulative evidence means more evidence building up.
Okay.
Pointing to human transmission.
This is not the same as having evidence that it's human transmissible. Otherwise, the article would have just said they had evidence.
Yes, it is. I don't think you know what accumulating evidence means. It's evidence that's pointing to human transmission being possible. Accumulate, which means building up more and more evidence of pointing to that.
I don't think that we have a case here for saying that they lied.
Why?
I think that they could have done a better job because they didn't have a concrete evidence that this was the case.
I'm showing you there's evidence building up from other health authorities that were on the ground in China. A China that should already be discredited for lying about epidemics.
This isn't the same as having concrete evidence about something.
When evidence keeps coming back, fact checking it and keeps being
true,
so
like
the chances are it's possible.
So what does it keep coming back for? We have literally two reports. This isn't like a consistent back and forth between these two entities.
It's not just two reports, because if you look at again the key word accumulating evidence, means
but
evidence that is building up over time from other people fact checking it.
It does not necessarily mean that they have other people fact checking it either. We don't even know. We don't know what was in these reports. Look, you're making a lot of assumptions about these reports that we don't have in front of us.
So accumulating evidence means. So let me get this straight. So you.
What I'm saying is,
hold on. You would believe China.
No.
Has lied about epidemic. Okay.
That's not what I said at all.
But
what I'm saying.
Evidence that keeps pointing to the same outcome. Evidence that keeps pointing to the same outcome is not concrete to suggest.
What I'm saying is that neither you nor I have this evidence. No, what I'm saying is.
What you have to say is you have to tell the nations, hey, there could be a possible problem here. Prepare for it. Not there's no need to worry about human transmission right now.
There was never a rhetoric that this was nothing to worry about. That was never the rhetoric. That's what you just said it was.
Human transmission. No, what WHO said. There's human transmission. Not something to worry about right now. When in fact,
that's not what they said. They said there was no evidence of it. They did not have evidence of it yet.
But there was evidence that is pointing to a possibility. So what I'm saying.
Okay, if something's pointing towards the possibility of something, that isn't evidence.
No, but what you should tell
This is
the nation is that, hey,
suggestion.
there's definitely a possibility here. We're going to continue looking into it. Not, hey,
Sure,
there's
that's
nothing
fine. That's fine.
possibility
I'm not
because
debating that. I'm debating the fact that
there you
you
go.
said they
Thank you.
lied.
You just agreed with my point. Finally, that's
No,
my point. I'm trying
my
to make. That's the
the
whole point I've been
only
trying to
thing
prove this
the
whole
only
time.
thing I disagreed with you on was the characterization that they lied, which is like this
What I'm saying is
intent
that
to
what I'm
deliberately
saying is they
deceive
should.
nations.
No, yeah, they did deceive nations because
Not
what they should have said is
deliberately.
something
There
else.
wasn't a deliberate deception here, which is what a lie would be. That's all I'm trying to say. Certainly, things could have been handled differently.
Well,
I'm not
no,
debating that.
what I'm. So you agree with my point then, which I've been trying to make the whole time.
As
Thank
long as
you.
we're not trying to say that they lied.
If I said I lie, I didn't. I said deceiving and
Okay,
deception.
I've made
Those are my
I've
words.
made that point abundantly clear multiple times over that my only point of contention with what you said is that they lied, and I've been very clear about this. Like
Okay,
that's what
and
I've been
I
arguing
didn't.
against this whole time.
I believe I said deception actually earlier. I corrected myself shortly after I said lied.
Well, I don't think there's anything deceptive about saying like we don't have clear evidence. This was actually true.
But I think you should lead and point to example like, hey, this
Sure,
is actually very
but
possible.
there's
We have accumulating evidence of it.
I would frame it
Nations
as
should
I would
prepare.
frame it as they maybe didn't give as adequate of a representation as they could have, and I don't know what the reasons might be, and but I just don't think that it was deliberate and malicious like lying would be. I think that's a very poor framing of what happened.
And what my whole statement about it to begin with was a WHO failed because they simply did fail right then and there. So, what is your stance on immigration exactly?
Oh shit! How much time you got, buddy? Give me
No
1
matter.
second. I mean, if you got more time, let me go grab a drink and shit. I'm fucking parched. We've been talking a lot.
I got about how much time is it? Oh, I got about 20 minutes.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
All right. Good friendly conversation here. Good throwbacks.
Oh shit! My green screen tipped. 1 sec. Okay. Got a beverage. Fixed the tipped green screen. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that you're not very like pro Mexican immigration.
So I'm pro legal immigration and speeding up the process that the Democrats are blocking in the House right now. I believe in legal immigration because as the president has said, we need the immigrants, but there's a process we need to come through. And
What about us blocking that process when people come here legally seeking asylum?
what exactly are you referring to?
So, wait 1 minute here. So there's a difference between people like illegally crossing the border and people who are approaching the border legally as asylum seekers, which we do have like legal protections for, and those are not being followed.
Okay.
This is something that I have a lot of contention with.
Okay. Is there anything like
So
specifically with the Trump administration, what they're implementing, for the
So, according to U.S. immigration law, a person granted asylum is legally allowed to remain in the U.S. without fear of deportation. So this would be, so like when people are coming to apply for asylum, they are being detained and they're not given like their proper due process at all. So like this is a big problem that I have is that the asylum seekers aren't getting the their fair shake.
And actually, that's actually by a federal judge. It was actually that same law that you're referring to right now is actually shot down by a federal judge. So it's actually not even in effect anymore. So I don't think it's actually a valid thing to actually bring up in the immigration process that's being implemented right now.
Give me 1 second. Immigration Rescue Committee. So actually the first thing that happened that changed anything was in July 17th due to the outbreak of the coronavirus. We've seen some leniency on this. This had nothing to do with like any other policy. It just had to do with the coronavirus due to fear of spread in some of these detention centers. Well, or concentration camps. They're concentration camps.
That's why I was concentration camps. Okay, I think that's a harsh one.
I mean, it fits the literal definition of concentration camp.
Yeah, well, I guess when I think of concentration camps, I think of mass genocide. So,
Sure, when I think of ice cream, I think of strawberry, but a lot of other people think of other things. But
right.
it's still ice cream.
But what I'm telling you about is the ICE is you realize why the ICE was terribly underfunded under the Obama administration, which lead to poor holding grounds for ICE members. And if you also realized there's never been quite the amount of people trying to cross the border illegally, and we are not we
Well,
weren't prepared for it thanks to
what do you think about the
previous
radicalization
administration.
of ICE?
What do you mean, the what?
The radicalization of ICE.
I would like to elaborate a little more on that.
So like the increase in raids and the increase of like violence and raids and things like that.
So what I think of ICE, what I think ICE should do, I think they deserve more funding for the detention centers where people are being held. Make sure they're in somewhat livable conditions. Um, if they're an illegal immigrant, they should not. They should skipped in line. I think it's morally wrong to actually enter the country illegally, because it's illegal, and I think you should be deported. Yes.
Are you for the wall?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I think the wall is like appallingly stupid. Not only is it like in theory is it stupid the way that we've gone about it, like the ways like the amount of waste that we've used in funding, and just like where we've put it up and like how like pretty much every step along the way it's been proven to be like an utter failure.
So you saying the border wall that hasn't been finished being built is a failure?
Yeah, so like everywhere that they put up wall, only 5 out of the 200 and some odd miles that they have put up, only 5 miles of it is completely new wall. It's where barriers were already at. Now, to be fair, in some of those areas, the barriers were laughable, but in some of them, not so much. And also, too, where we're putting up the border wall. Right now, it seems like we're targeting the areas where it's like the easiest to put it up and not the ones that are most effective. Like we're putting it up where there's already natural barriers, like mountain ranges that are like super rocky and like damn near impossible to cross to begin with. And also the walls that we're using are extremely scalable. Like you don't even need ladders. We have like the metal bars with like gaps in between and then this plate on the top. I watched people cross it over it with just fucking rope. They didn't need ladders or anything. They got up it. They were super easy to climb. They hopped over and then they just slid down like a fireman's pole. So I think it's all really, really
yeah,
bad.
we're adding. So what? So I believe what you're referring to is, you say that we're adding. I just want to make sure we're correct here. We're adding on to what was actually the wall was actually only a truck length high, which I believe any of us could hop without a rope. But afterwards, it's actually increasingly a lot higher, and it would actually be a lot harder to enter the country hopping the border wall when it's simply
I
increased.
did say in a lot of those areas we did. I said to be fair though, some of the areas where we replaced old sections of wall, the ones were like laughable and you could just like walk over. I did grant that right in the very
Okay,
beginning.
I was just clarifying that statement.
And also like the company, like one of the major players in this is a really, really bad company that's like done like that has like millions of dollars in tax fraud cases against them. The old the owner before he was removed because he got the old owner of it was taken out of ownership because he has child pornography charges brought against him. They have like no real good qualifications for building the wall. The sections of the wall that they did build are already coming up after 1 year. Like the foundation's crumbling beneath them from erosion. I just feel like every step about this we've gone is like terribly wrong. This is also it's also really contradictory to think that the wall's a great idea when the majority of illegal immigrants come through legal access points. Seems like we would be a lot better off financially and pragmatically if we put some reform into border security at these checkpoints. It seems like there's got to be a reason that all these illegal immigrants are getting through these checkpoints undetected. It seems like it's likely that like there's some kind of payoffs for some of these border patrol agents, things like that. We got to tackle the illegal entry points before we even think about spending billions of dollars on these significantly less impactful entry points.
So I believe actually a couple of people.
Are you still there? Can't hear you anymore.
Yeah. So
There you go.
actually, I have somebody in here that actually actually lives by the border. It would actually make a statement to you. It's actually Ethan. So if you would like to unmute him and
Sure, but I will just like to say too that like anecdotal evidence isn't like I don't really hold this to a lot of credibility. I prefer data, but I unmuted.
Okay, so most like I'm pro wall, by the way, because not only does it stop illegal immigration and like wall hopping, it also stops drug and child trafficking.
Okay,
And
so
most of the time, whenever those people do cross over the border and at those legal checkpoints, it's not even buyouts from the border patrol officers. It's actually from the families. They sell their children to the illegal immigrants to cross over.
yeah, but they're still getting through. So like
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
know.
So,
Like,
but what I'm saying is
like,
how.
here's-
Would it stop that? I feel like we do need some reformation in the way that the border patrol works, which that's where ICE comes in play. ICE can help with that too, along with
Well,
border patrol. If they
I
work
mean,
together, it'll
but-
be good.
ICE isn't doing anything to stop them from crossing, though. They're just
Actually,
trying to
let's
round
look
up people that already
when the
crossed.
first
And
border wall
I know, but if
actually.
they
Wait,
work together,
wait, hang on.
Hold
Before
on,
before we get further, I just want to highlight a couple of points. One, the wall that we're using right now doesn't stop drugs from coming through because they can put it right through the slats.
yeah, no,
it-
'cause most of the wall at some points is literally just a barbed wire fence. That's why.
No, I'm talking about the new wall that we're putting up is just slats, so you can put drugs right through there. I'm not.
Makes sense, dude.
Like, actually, let's look at this
Because it's-
key
because
point.
It's
Oh,
really
what's the border
suspicious.
wall?
A dude holding a bag walking through the desert, especially in like Texas, like West Texas. That looks really odd.
Well, I didn't say anything about a guy walking with a bag. They can be a lot more pragmatic than that. You can pull up in a vehicle on the other side of this wall and then just unload the drugs.
Like, actually, let's look into this a little.
Well, I mean, if
bit
it stretches
more.
across the entire
Actually,
border,
hold on,
if it's
hold
supposed
on.
to.
It started 2005 when the first actual border wall was being implemented, which was obviously, as you mentioned, was not the best border wall. Illegal immigration actually dropped 90% with the first border wall being implemented. Then when Donald Trump started implementing his wall, illegal immigration actually fell to a decade low. And then we can also talk about how
We'll take a small nap.
You
registered the physical barriers are actually stopping a lot of the illegal immigration there. Then we can look at how the
Yeah,
the
I'm not
Mexican
saying anything
government
bad
actually-
about
the Mexican
these.
government is actually Donald Trump actually finally got the Mexican government also to line parts of the wall and parts of the border, the Mexican military to actually start stopping illegal immigration as well. Donald Trump was able to finally get that as well as through the USMCA. We're actually getting a lot more money now from Mexico that we can put towards our border security. And now they also agreed that to get their Mexican government Mexican military to line the border security as well. So I believe that's also a reason why illegal immigration fell to a decade low.
None of these things are addressing like my concerns, though. My concerns is that we're wasting money on a system that it just doesn't make any sense. There's definitely better.
It's actually been work, but I'm telling you. it's
I'm
actually
talking about the
been work.
wall.
Okay.
Yeah, and the wall, and part of the wall has also the wall has also contributed to the lowest illegal immigration.
Alright,
rate.
Can
Wait,
I
how-
interject with something?
How do we have a direct correlation between this?
Because when
It
it
could.
started getting built in certain locations, the illegal immigration dropped in these areas.
I mean,
Can
what's up, Schwubble Wubble?
Elder, what's your political stand? Do you support expanded welfare?
What do you mean?
Do
I
you
wanna-
support like, an expanded welfare system?
Okay.
Wubble wubble.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like you need to make. I need to make sure that I understand what you're talking about before I make any statements about what you're saying.
Like, would you support like Andrew Yang's plan to give?
So universal basic income. I mean, there's some arguments for universal basic income. I'm not necessarily like. I mean, I'd have to see the details on how it's hammered out. I'm not like super on board for universal health or for universal basic income, but certain things like universal health care, whether it be single payer or multi payer, I'm super duper for that. And as far as like certain forms of welfare, absolutely. Like there's just certain areas that capitalism doesn't do good with. For the most part, capitalism is like the perfect system for regulating goods to meet the wants and needs of people, almost all the time. But there's certain areas where markets fail. They just can't address the needs of the overall populace, and so we need to have certain policy in place to try to correct these market failures.
All right,
Like,
all right. So when you want all these social programs.
Well, hang on, Schwabble Wubble. I don't want to get super far off track. Tanner and I've had a thing for a minute. However, though, if you want to like Fred me, we can talk like pretty much any time. I don't know how much time Tanner has.
Like I said, you can talk again, Elder, but I kind of want to hear about this one actually a little bit.
Okay. Also,
Alright,
I'm sending you an ad as well, Tanner.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so you want all these social programs like healthcare and stuff implemented, but how can you implement that and also lose border restrictions? Because that would be like if we allowed anybody from anywhere, like with very few restrictions, to come into our country and then subsist off of these, wouldn't that bankrupt our system?
So 2 things. One, I never said nothing, no regulation. I said that we could better use our resources to stop some of this immigration in better, more proactive ways that make more sense than a wall. And 2, people that aren't citizens don't qualify for these things. You need a social security card to sign up for pretty much every welfare that's available through the government. So illegal citizens don't have this.
Yeah, all right. So my brain is fried. It's like 3 a.m. and
That's okay. I'm not faulting you, buddy. I'm just addressing those concerns you had.
Who is Shovel Wubble exactly?
I've been in the server since like the beginning.
Yeah, he's trusted. See, if you look over the right, he's trusted. This is a man we can trust.
All right, I think I'm gonna go now.
Okay, well that was good. At least you were really good faith in that too.
All right, see you guys later.
Yeah, I sent you an ad, buddy. Feel free to hit me up if you want to talk some more in the future.
All right.
Okay.
So you're for universal healthcare, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
All right.
Why? Because it seems like the market doesn't do a very good job. So the United States is a great place to get healthcare, but debatably the best in the world if you're rich. But if you're not,
So you're saying? Wait, hang on. Sorry, no, my brain's fried. I'm working on a banner for the YouTube. 1 second.
okay.
So, fuck. My bad. Go ahead. If somebody else was talking, I don't know.
It was just me. You said hang on while I was explaining why it's a good thing.
Okay, so
So it seems like markets do a bad job at meeting the needs of people when it comes to healthcare, and this is like very obviously illustrated when we can see people not being able to afford their medicine that they need to live. Like insulin's a really good one. If we have a universal basic healthcare, we can negotiate drug prices in a way that we can't right now, which can help drive down the price. Already, we spend so much money just in our Medicaid system alone that with universal basic, with universal healthcare, we can drive down our prices not only by negotiating, but by getting everybody on board. The overall cost is significantly lower overall. So like it's very economically pragmatic for us. And also too, a lot of our other issues that we have in this country are the burdens, other kinds of burdens, like economic burdens on our country, get lessened when everybody has the proper medication that they need. And this is especially true when our universal healthcare system covers mental health. When people have the mental health care that they need, we're going to see a decrease in a lot of things like obesity. We're going to see a lot of decrease in things like violent crime. We're going to see a lot of decrease in things like homelessness. All these things are significantly helped by universal health care.
how does homelessness with universal hair care? How does
What's
that?
that?
How does that?
Well, but with mental health services help keep people from making these terrible choices that end up leading to them being homeless. Like nobody wants to be homeless, right?
I
mean,
yeah, that's a fair claim.
So it seems like lots of times when people end up being homeless, it's because they're not making very good choices, and a lot of times when people are consistently not making very good choices, they just don't have they need some kind of guidance. Maybe they need medication, maybe they need therapy to help work on ways to get them in the right direction, so that they're understanding the choices they're making are bad. Well, I'm not saying that's like a magic fix. I'm saying it'll lessen the burden of. Right when you say that's fair, that if everybody had access to mental health, not only would more people seek it too, because it would reduce the stigma.
So my biggest thing with universal health care,
skyrocket. People will become homeless because of that. Like you know how the amount like of taxes, like they're almost paying double their house worth in taxes, like in Canada. That's why a lot of kids are living at home.
I've actually debunked the cost of universal healthcare. I've looked at several different countries. I think Comrade was in here for this. I was actually talking to Jake. We broke down the numbers of like other countries, and so like the UK, for example, has universal healthcare, and they on average pay the same amount of tax that the average American pays in taxes. So which could actually stand to reason that overall Americans could be paying less because
we're covering a lot more people though.
Yeah, but the way that
no.
we're looking
I'm
at
talking
it
about this is per capita though. So if
You
we
know
have
how
more
long-
people, go ahead.
Do you know how long it takes in Canada? I'm using Canada. That's the best for this. Do you know how long it takes to get an MRI scan?
Yeah, and the thing with
A non-emergency?
I'm gonna jump in for example. So universal healthcare would have to be different than Canada and the UK and other European countries. Actually, with universal healthcare, based on
Sure.
what we have with inflation.
But no, but also too, we could drive our prices down when we have a unified front to go against drug companies. We can force them to lower their prices. We pay more for the same drugs than any other country does. Sometimes like magnitudes more.
Not true anymore, thanks to Donald Trump.
No, that is true. That the bill that that
No,
executive,
no.
yes,
I
yeah, absolutely is. That executive
No, we're
order that he
actually
signed
paying
did
the
not
same
go into
price as
effect
other countries now as well. We're not paying.
That's
we're
not
paying the same
true.
price. Yes, it is.
for all of our drugs.
For drug, yes, for drug.
I
prices
think
have
I think
gone
he
lower.
I think he listed just a couple of drugs on there, and that didn't go through. He left himself a back. So first of all, that's not in effect. And then
no,
second
let
of
me
all, wait. Let me just finish this point real quick. That's not in effect. That executive order that he signed also left a back door to where that doesn't even have to go into effect. This was never set in stone, even from the executive order. This was more of an executive suggestion than an executive order.
But actually,
ahead.
it did go into effect. So actually, it would end the shadow. It ended the shadow systems like kickbacks by middlemen, which represented an average discount of 26 to 30%, 26% to 30%. Required federally qualified health centers who purchase insulin and another
Okay,
long
hang
drug.
on, hang on.
and
This so an executive order just got this story just came out 6 hours ago. So give me 1 minute. So if something new happened, this is new. This is like just a few hours ago new. So promise
Well,
Trump
would
made
you-
on July 24th, White House signing. So I said that when this signed, I said that if this actually happens, this is the best thing that Trump's done since he got into office. So if the promise that was made on that signing of that
actually have to
executive order,
disagree, but
um,
I think the brokering and 3P deal is probably the best thing in office. But
well, I mean, I definitely care more about internal effects of things rather than external things. But we'll see.
my biggest thing is foreign policy. That's why I'm studying political science and foreign policy. And I think finally getting troops home is my biggest thing. Those are two different opinions. That's not really debatable. Is what you believe is.
Yeah, that's
best for the
fair.
world.
Let's see. So I guess this would be something I'd really like to look into this because, like I said, we have a bunch of breaking stories about this that just came out 6 hours ago. Because when he signed the executive order, it had not gone into an effect yet. It seems like maybe something's happening as of like yesterday, literally. So I'd be really interested to see in what's happening in that. But right now, I can't. So like I'm willing to be a little bit charitable here, and I would have to look into what's happening with this. But like I said too, I would be very, very happy if this did happen. But like I said, there's a slew of articles coming out right now about it. So I can't say anything yet. Like I said, this got signed in July, but it did not have any immediate effect at that time. So it's looking like I said, it's something that's happening just in the last few hours here. So, like, if there's something you want to revisit tomorrow or whenever you get time, I would absolutely like to revisit this. And if it does go into effect and does do what like these broad promises were, I'd be super happy to say that you were right. Like, I'd be so happy to say that.
I'd also like to make up the point. Would you agree that more doctors would actually leave the field? Actually, like, so what they say with universal healthcare in the United States has to be something like Medicare, and already under a lot of the Medicare rules that are in effect now, more doctors are already leaving. Universal healthcare already points to even more doctors leaving the field because there's no competition to keep people going to certain doctors.
So what does doctors leaving mean?
We would lose a ton of jobs.
So what do we mean by doctors leaving?
More doctors would leave the field to study.
So you're gonna tell me that somebody who spent all this time getting their doctorate is gonna go and do something else? They're gonna go be like carpenters?
Well, yes, when you start taking away certain things that was able to make them a business, and absolutely.
How are we taking away things that make them a
When
business?
government gets involved, processes turn into a covulated flowcharts. Government tries to address all ills and potentialities, and in the process creates a built-in conflicts and gray zones. If you just actually take a look at the federal tax code for guidance and look at Obamacare, it would be considerably worse with universal health care. As doctors begin to realize that their incomes are being reduced thanks to universal health care, their day-to-day operations are being closely monitored and controlled under certain regulations. They're not going to be able to make as much money, which would actually be leading basically to bankruptcy when you actually look at the amount of time they actually
So
to
why
get there,
can't so
their
why can't we
business.
make why can't we just include in the policy to make sure the doctors get fair pay?
Because then it's not universal health care.
Yeah, I mean, why can't it be? Why can't
Because then you're starting to charge different people different things. When
no,
universal
we
health
don't?
care is charging the same people everything based on taxes.
No, it's you can still pay doctors good wages.
Sure, but it should be the doctor's jurisdiction how much they get paid. I think to their own office due to
I mean,
business.
they only have so much say in it
And-
now. It's not up to the. So if a doctor works at a
But then-
hospital, he
then
doesn't
that
get to
would
set
lead
his
to
rate.
But that would lead to in more inflation when you have to start charging doctors so much more. When you, like you said we should we should pay
Wait, what do you mean
doctors more.
charging
Then you
doctors
have to
more?
raise taxes even more. Then you have to pay for the operations even more, and so on and so on and so on.
Okay, so no.
That'll lead a lot of doctors that do their own practices. That'll make them leave eventually.
Leave
So
to
if-
where?
We already seen effects like this with
So-
Obamacare. We've seen effects with this around the world.
Why don't we
other
why don't we
countries as
see
well as
mass
universal
doctor
healthcare.
shortages in all these countries? Like, how come there's not people dying from not being able to get doctors in Canada and the UK?
Well, there's actually,
mass.
if you actually look at the time it actually takes you to get into a doctor's office with
For-
universal healthcare, it's significantly slower than what it
Yeah.
is
Okay.
now.
So two things on that point. Two things on that. Hang on. I just want.
4 minutes. I just want to make one claim, and I'm chilling. What,
Go ahead.
If we base off of Canada, yeah, we can hear you.
What?
Unmute Abraham Lincoln. He's trying to
Elder?
make it too.
Elder, can I make one claim real quick?
So your claim, then Ethan's claim, and then I forgot what Tanner even said. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna claim way back when you said that if the people that can get, it'll make it easier for people who make bad choices to get help. All the way that you said that. Why should that be the government's problem if it's your decision to do those bad things? For example, if it's your decision to do
I said
drugs,
this would.
why should the
That's not
why
what I
should the
said.
government- That's exactly what you literally.
No, I said this
that.
would. I said that this would be an outcome, not an aim. This would just be a natural outcome of it.
Yeah, well, it's stupid. That
Okay,
was-
so we shouldn't do anything
why-
good
why-
if people who are in bad positions also benefit from it.
Well, I mean, if you choose your,
With you
if you-
more universal
I-
health care,
government's
it's going to create more
responsibility to cover
inflation.
your bad choices.
And it
Healthcare is
doesn't
not a human right.
Because in the end, it's not the government's decision for what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
They're not forcing you to go get treated.
I know, but it's
No, I'm just saying.
Then
like,
you're getting
to be able
but
to,
you're getting
to
taxed
make
for it.
us pay money for
Yeah,
your bad choices is stupid.
Okay. Okay, so look, taxes already exist. If you want to okay, so like look, taxes already exist. We don't live in a perfect
like
society where there's okay, that's fine. You don't have to like them, but they exist. Okay,
But
they
why would I
already
wanna
exist.
pay more?
Why would I
If
wanna
already
expand
don't
it
like
even
them,
more?
Why would I want to pay more taxes?
Stuff that
Yeah,
don't-
they exist, and I already hate the ones you have to pay now. I can't. I despise the day I'm gonna be forced to pay taxes. I'm lucky right now. The only thing that gets taxed is my paycheck, but I'm gonna despise the day. Why should I pay for other people's choices? That's why I don't think Planned Parenthood should
Because
be
you're in a
publicly
society.
funded.
You already have to pay for other people's choices via taxes, via laws, even. But okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if
But
you
I don't
want
wanna pay
to.
more
That's
money.
the reality
I
of it.
agree that we should have taxes because that also pays like a lot of the first responder jobs that like I'm trying to go into eventually, and it also pays for roads, schools, stuff like that. So it's actually
And
helping.
it already pays for shit. I mean, no, but all those things are already shit anyway.
It's helping
So
our
why
city.
add healthcare
Okay,
into that?
Hang on.
But no, but that's the thing though. Is that these taxes, this tax money already goes to the schools, the roads, the government funding, the government funded jobs. They're all shit, and they're all shit now, and they pay shit. So why add healthcare into that and make that shit too? But
I
no,
didn't.
you
I,
use
I
your
didn't say I didn't say government regulated healthcare either. I think the government should be funding the insurance for the
That's exactly what I
healthcare.
just fucking. That's exactly what I just fucking said. Why
It doesn't
should
have to
we
change.
pay
It doesn't have to
for
change
that?
any infrastructure or treatment. It doesn't have to make it worse.
But if
I
you
have a
get-
question.
but if
Hold on,
you-
hold on,
if
hold
the
on.
So
government-
Medicaid. Hang on. hang on. Medicaid right now doesn't change
Let me
how you're
fucking-
treated.
Elder, just because you speak over me does not mean that you win or you're smarter. Just so you know that. Because you commonly do that all the time whenever anyone's making a decision or not a decision, a statement. So what I'm trying to say is that we already have to pay taxes for all these other things, and then that means the government gets to decide how much money goes into
You
the
literally already
healthcare.
said this. You said this like 3 times already. And then I was trying to answer you, and you were just repeating yourself.
Can I
So,
ask you a question, Elder, really quickly before you respond?
sure.
Unless you want to go ahead and respond, then I'll be happy to let you respond. and
This
I'll
is a
answer.
lot of dogpiling. It's really hard for me to keep up here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
So we already have to pay taxes no matter what. This is not debatable, and I don't care how you feel about it. This is a reality.
Yeah.
I don't really care about feelings when
But
it
I don't
comes
wanna pay
to.
more.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, but you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Taxes are inevitably
No.
gonna go up, because
Well, taxes are
population is
being
gonna go
lowered
up.
right now, so
Not for a lot of people. But anyways, this is beside the point.
for the middle
So
class, yeah.
so the things that you always have to pay for other people, whether it be taxes or whether it be by law, this is the cost of living in a society. So if we can take taxes and say taxes are bad because which I'm not disagreeing for, but I'm saying that it's a necessary bad thing. Taxes are bad because we have to give up our money, which is essentially saying we have to give up our time, which is essentially saying we have to give up our freedom. So basically, taxes are bad because it's. Hang on, let me finish. Stop. You're cutting me off. I'm still trying to respond to you. So. Basically, taxes are bad because it's giving up some of our freedom. The same thing happens in any law. Why do I have to pay for people's bad decisions? If I can say I drive drunk better than anybody in the whole world, but all of a sudden I'm not allowed to drive drunk because some assholes can't handle their liquor. That's me paying for somebody else's bad decisions. That's how society works.
Safety issues.
Completely. That's
Yeah,
for
but
the safety issue.
So is people not getting sick and dying.
Here's my here's my one question.
Sure.
Why should I have to pay more if I'm not getting treated but other people are? Why should I have to pay into the system?
Because we always have to do that in society. We
So why
always
should
have
we
to.
increase
We always
the
have to make. We always have to make concessions.
Pay for someone's mental health.
Why should the government control? Government-controlled healthcare does not
I didn't say
work,
government-controlled
period.
healthcare. I said government
What
funded.
universal healthcare is.
Okay, so if
Governmentally
it was government.
funded means they control it. Like it or not, governmentally funded is controlling. If you fund something, you control it. Because if the government decides, I'm gonna cut your budget, you can't do jack shit, and then you can only afford.
Like, yeah,
certain
actually,
things.
let's look into.
I mean, the government can make a policy and stop you from doing stuff too.
So let's look into it right now.
Exactly. That's why. But why
They
do
already
you
have
want
that power.
government? I don't
Well,
understand
let's-
why you want
let's look
government,
into it.
more
Hey,
government in things.
Excuse me.
How does
Excuse
somebody
me.
want more government in
respond.
things?
So right now, currently, total
I'm done. I'm
total
just gonna
currently
listen.
total federal tax revenues run about 3.2 trillion. If we add
Uh-huh.
extra 2 trillion to the government expenditures, that would mean the government would need to roughly tax around 62% more than right now. 62% your taxes are going to be increased. 62%. I don't think that's right.
No, that's not. That's
To
not what
take-
it.
to take.
Okay. This is a lot more nuanced than you're making it.
Well, how?
Because these numbers aren't going to be the same anyways.
How?
Okay, then why is it? Why are we not seeing these same kind of tax increases per capita? In all these other countries that have universal health care. What makes the United States so much different than them that we're gonna have radically different numbers?
Because I'm telling you, we're going to be for universal healthcare to what the universal healthcare you'll see in the United States isn't going to be like the rest of the countries. It's going to be like Medicare, just increased, and it's going to be by 62%. It's not going to be. We cannot take it like from other countries. It's just not going to work
Why?
because it's going to be different in the United States under Medicare.
But
Be
no,
the
I'm
most likely
I'm not.
model for universal
No,
healthcare.
see, I'm not
Because
married to any
rather than
model.
rely on rather than rely on universal healthcare models currently in Canada and Europe, it's far more likely that we'll get a system based largely on expansion of the existing Medicare system if we want to implement it. Just like health insurance for most of us carry right now, Medicare doesn't pay for all your medical bills. For example, under Medicare Part B, you must pay 20% of the outpatient service costs. After you pay your annual deductible for this reason, many people who are on Medicare also maintain a Medicare supplement that costs Medicare doesn't. There's a premium as well. Translation: you don't assume that universal healthcare will mean the end of premiums, which premiums would actually jack the cost as well. In fact, there is actually a monthly premium of $134 per person for Part B coverage and possibly more for Part D. And remember, their monthly premiums are not factored into the current portion of the FICA tax that's used for Medicare. It's an additional cost of participants. And expansion of Medicare to a general population would almost certainly include these premiums in addition to higher income tax. And that's before factoring in the additional cost that will occur when 74 million people who are currently enrolled in the Medicaid program are enrolled into a national plan with upgraded benefits. And worth nothing is the fact that some healthcare providers don't want to even participate in the Medicare program because of limits on reimbursements for services. How an expansion of program to universal level will play out is way open to debate, therefore not really proving that it would actually work functionable and well enough for society to possibly adapt to the system.
Okay, so a couple things. One, you're begging the question. You're saying, well, if we have it, it's going to be this. We don't know that. So for one, I
What's your
never said.
plan?
Hang on. Like I don't care. I want whichever one is the easiest to pass through. Whichever one garners the most public support. That's all I care about. My main priority is getting everybody insured. I don't care if it's single payer. I don't care if it's multi-payer. If it's Medicare for all, that's fine too. I don't care which one it is. It's whichever one is easiest to pass through and get made into a bill. Secondly, though, so the majority of the people that would be paying more in taxes are people that are already affording health insurance. So when you have people that are already paying out of pocket for health insurance, they're more likely to go down in price. They're going to be the ones that are going to be paying less overall. When you combine their now that it's in a tax form rather than actually paying it out of pocket to some company, they're going to be paying it in taxes. It's going to go down because we have more people insured. You're going to have some people like in the upper middle class and the upper class that are going to be paying more than they were before for healthcare, but the overwhelming majority of Americans will be paying less overall. When you combine a lot of things, like one, we have everybody on a single plan, that's going to make things cheaper across the board instead of all these different plans.
So my question
And then
is, do you still believe that private sector should still exist?
I don't care. I don't care. They can, they can't. I don't care. Like I said, it's just whichever one is more
So why
pragmatic
should
and getting
somebody
pushed
getting
through.
private sector healthcare be able to pay? Should have to pay for somebody else's universal healthcare?
No, like I said, I'm not saying that that's what I say. I don't care. What I care is about the one that gets passed.
If you don't care, then what's wrong with the current system right now? With people still paying in the Medicare system, people still getting the care on Medicare, and then you can also get the private sector healthcare right now. So what's wrong with that system right now?
Because
that's
we
what's
still
happening right now, and you said you don't care. So what's wrong with the system right now?
I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to answer you because we still have.
I'm finishing my question.
We still have millions of Americans that aren't insured. We still don't have strong control over. Well, I can't address the prices yet. I have to look into the new information that's just come out in the last few hours about drug prices. But I care about getting everybody insured.
Basic.
Well, you kind of support Donald Trump's method then into trying to get people insured if it wasn't for the ill democratic policy under Barack Obama and Joe Biden.
Get people in a church.
Insured.
Oh, insured. I want everybody insured.
You almost agree with Donald Trump's healthcare plan instead of Joe Biden's and Barack Obama's, which is the reason why we're actually in this situation right now is because they didn't make Medicare really affordable for anybody. It's not really an Affordable Care Act when people are left uninsured.
Well, the Affordable Care Act is not the same as Medicare.
Right, but we're comparing the two systems. If it's Affordable Care Act, then surely everybody would have it, right?
I never said anything good about the Affordable Care Act.
I know, but
just so you know, I'm not a fan of Obama. You can't.
Fine. What I'm trying to make of your argument is
not a human right. Change my mind.
If you're for a private sector, why can't we just make Medicare more expandable instead of a universal healthcare? What's the difference?
If everybody got covered, sure. That would be a multi-payer system, which I said I'm not opposed to.
So right. So then you're technically you'd be open to not implementing universal healthcare when it's not necessary, when we can actually keep taxes.
I mean, it would still be
It would still
be universal if everybody has it. You're just describing a multi-payer system, which I'm open to.
Sector. If there's still a private sector, then
that's literally what multi-payer universal is.
No. If there's a private sector, it's not universal healthcare. Period.
It's referred to as multi-payer universal healthcare.
I do not believe so.
Yeah, insurance is not a basic human right. It doesn't have to be.
I mean, we're not making the moral debate here about whether healthcare.
Well, it's not a human right.
Okay, this is a moral argument. It's just completely separate from what we're talking about.
isn't universal healthcare talking about how it should be a basic right?
Universal healthcare is descriptive, not you're talking prescriptive. I'm talking descriptive.
Okay.
I guess I really can't really get into a full-on argument when you're kind of bouncing off several different ideas.
Like I said, I don't care which one we have. I just need. I want everybody to be insured. I don't care if it's single payer or multi-payer. We need to get everybody in this country health insurance.
You almost
Universal means everybody
You know,
has.
Joe Biden doesn't want to give everyone healthcare, right?
Did I say anything good about Joe Biden?
private sectors.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
Okay.
if you want
Private sector.
affordable healthcare, vote Donald Trump.
I mean, this is non sequitur. I didn't say anything about Joe Biden.
No, I'm just saying.
But you said you're anti-Trump
if you're
when Trump
you're
actually
gonna-
trying to implement a similar policy
Yeah,
that would be universal, but he
I
wants to-
I would
He
love
wants to
I would
make
love
it more
to.
affordable for
I
Joe
can't
Biden.
hear anything anybody's saying.
DJ.
Hold on, Jake. Hold on. So hold on. You said you are anti-Trump, is what you said earlier, correct?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump.
Okay, so so hold on. I believe with healthcare, it should be an option to get healthcare or not. It should not be forced upon anyone to have and to pay for. And Donald Trump is wants to make it affordable for everybody to buy in and be willing to get healthcare, make it affordable for people, but not forcing it upon anybody. And that's so I'm understanding why should healthcare be forced upon people that don't want it?
Okay, do you have any like any sources on like Donald Trump's healthcare plan?
Sure. Well, his healthcare plan that was actually well, hold on. I'm specifically referring to the healthcare plan that John McCain voted no on in I believe 2017.
What I'm trying to say is that insurance has been really cheap since Trump has been in presidency. Like it just.
But we still have like tens of millions of people without it.
And
so
that's
it's
and a
not
lot
gonna-
of people are opting not to buy in.
That
that's
shouldn't be the government's fault. That should be the people's fault.
okay.
The government. Okay, so let's see what job they want. Right? The job can help pay for their insurance. That's where insurance comes from.
But this is dwindling away rapidly. Jobs do their damnedest to make sure people don't work full time, so they don't have to provide these benefits for people.
So,
But what about
so you believe healthcare should be forced upon people?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So you think I should be say I don't want healthcare? You think I should be forced upon me even though I couldn't afford it through taxes?
Here's the problem with you choosing not to have healthcare. Something traumatic happens to you, you still require healthcare. You're still going to get it, and then taxpayers are going to pay for it at a higher cost because you weren't insured.
So then I don't think I should be morally forced to actually own healthcare.
But then you're saying that. But then that puts the burden on me as a taxpayer to pay for your higher costing healthcare because you didn't have insurance, and now I gotta pay my tax money to make sure that you were treated when you got hit by a car because you chose not to have it.
You're all for raising taxes on everybody else.
What I'm saying is, uninsured people are still a burden on the taxpayer. It doesn't matter whether you choose to get whether you have healthcare through the system or
Let's look
not.
at the cost between the two. Which one would it be cheaper under?
burden on everybody? That's what.
So
that's
okay,
the
so what's the dollar? What's the dollar amount you place on a human life?
dollar amount?
Yeah.
Why would we place the dollar amounts on human life?
Well, I mean, you're saying that humans aren't worth the dollars that it costs to insure them.
I'm
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Insurance.
Well, that's what your words mean.
I'm not.
What I'm saying is it's probably cheaper one way than the
Life. That's not my responsibility.
No, well, what's the dollar value on a human life?
I'm not gonna answer that question because.
Okay. Okay, well then you're. I mean, we do place a dollar value on human life at some point in this conversation.
So you asked for what I believe should be done with the current healthcare system, and so what would have happened? So Donald Trump repealed the individual mandate, and he also looked at the deductibles and premiums on Medicare and the Affordable Care Act, which actually increased.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the
I know,
affordable.
and I'm offering. Hold on. Which made it unaffordable. What Donald Trump wants to do in his healthcare plan was repeal the deductibles, repeal the individual mandate, which he did through an executive order anyway, and repeal some of the premiums, which actually made it affordable, where people can choose to buy into the system, which makes their less people uninsured, because then people can actually afford it. It's not universal. People can still buy into the system if they choose to, and it's affordable for me as a middle class. I wouldn't have to pay more in taxes. The rich doesn't have to pay more in taxes when they shouldn't have to for other people as well.
Okay, so it looks like since Trump took office, we have an increase in uninsured people.
Yeah, because people got off of Obamacare.
So
But
you,
because they didn't want to be a part of it.
Because
so you think this is strictly caused by it's not people who no longer can afford it at all.
Absolutely.
I don't think that you can find any data to support this.
data supporting what? Sorry, I blanked out
That
there for a
that
second.
the reason why like that the sole reason that unemployed people went up was because of wait, did he even get rid of the mandate, or did he just get rid of the penalty for not having it?
I believe he repealed the individual mandate.
There's no way to provide a direct correlation between people that chose not to have it because they didn't want it and people who could no longer afford it.
So why, how would you suggest that? How would more uninsured people elsewhere would increase
Because they can't afford it anymore.
due to the failed Affordable Care Act, which Donald Trump has fought to
Yeah.
No,
repeal?
so when the Affordable Care Act came out, there was an increase, a big surge of people that were insured that were not previously. Even if I don't agree with the Affordable Care Act, this is undeniable fact.
Well, actually, no, because if you actually, it was actually going to fail because it's not very affordable at all when you actually look into
Okay,
it, and
that's
that's
I'm
actually
not.
why the system has actually started to fail until
You're not
Donald Trump
addressing what
repealed the
I'm saying.
individual mandate, because the money actually going into the system, more of it was being taken out, which from business, if just from a common sense standpoint, if more money is being taken out than actually being put in,
Homie,
the
that's not what I
system is likely to
said.
fail, which you have to jack the prices on.
You're
Absolutely.
saying a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with what I said. I was just making a
How?
simple claim. I said that people, when the Affordable Care Act came out, more people were insured than before, millions more. That's all I said. This is I said this is an undeniable fact, and then nothing that you said disputed what I just said. Now whatever conclusions you want to draw
What I'm
from
saying,
that,
the Affordable
I'm
Care
not
Act is
saying that
not
was
very
good.
affordable, and that's why you're seeing
I didn't say that
people
it was.
actually uninsured, because over time people started losing out on the Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act because it's simply not affordable anymore, and they couldn't be
There
in the
was still
system any
okay. We
longer.
didn't see a decrease, but yeah, until Trump got into office, though, we didn't see a decrease in the total numbers of people insured.
Right, because over time, if you actually looked, and that's why Donald Trump tried appealing it, because he knew this was going to be coming. He said it was going to be coming, and that's why he literally said after John McCain voted no on repealing Obamacare, his exact words, it is going to fail now because the money being put in, more of it's being taken out, and more people are going to be uninsured because you failed to repeal Obamacare. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. It's not affordable anymore for people. They can't be in the system any longer, especially when not enough money is going into the system and being taken out because it's not that affordable.
Obamacare just sucks ass in general. Like, I didn't do anything.
I didn't vouch for it.
Right, but you're making a claim that
More people were insured. That's all I said, which is true.
right, and more people became uninsured because of
When
because
it got
it's not
repealed.
affordable over time.
When it got repealed.
I've
It
been.
didn't get repealed. That's the problem.
Well,
That's why you see more uninsured
the
people, 'cause
mandate
it didn't get
the
repealed.
mandate getting repealed is a repealing of the act. Like it doesn't do anything if the mandate's gone.
It's repealing part of it, not a full structure of
But
repealing the whole system.
if there's no mandate, you don't need to have it. Then that's the whole point.
Right, and it's not your job to tell people that they are required to have health care. That's what you're not getting at. It's not your job to do that.
Like, that's personal rights. Like, you
Also,
shouldn't be
can I get like I said too? I'm getting forced to pay for your health care if you don't have health insurance, though.
Well, that's exactly what universal healthcare is. That's just what healthcare is. Not our current system. Like,
In our current system, if you don't have insurance and you end up at the hospital, you still get treated. Who pays for that?
You know, I'm saying, well, why would you want an increase in taxes anyway? Why would you want the increase? You still increase in taxes.
No, you're not addressing what I'm saying. Like this is happening a lot. Like I'm making a claim and then like we go off on a tangent that's not directly addressing what I'm saying at all.
So hold on. Are you for a single payer universal
No.
healthcare system?
No, I don't care if we have single payer or multi-payer. But also, still, can we address
How
this?
can we logically make a good actual argument between the two when you don't even have a specific stance on universal healthcare in general? Because there's a
Okay.
lot of universal healthcare systems we have to bounce off of, but you don't have a specific plan yourself.
Yeah, I care about whichever one's easier to pass through. Whichever one garners enough support to get pushed through, I'm all for that
So
one. I don't
then
care.
we have to debate about several different universal healthcare systems when you don't even know
I'm gonna
yourself
go
which one
sleep,
would be
guys. Good
easier
night,
because you know it doesn't work.
And
No.
if the bad one passes, like you're okay with that?
If
Like,
the what
you're-
one?
So let's say that there's like a better one than the other one. So like let's say the
If-
single payer,
If the better one can't get passed, then it's not better, right?
and then the worst one passes, right?
Which ones would pass?
Popular vote.
Which one would pass?
That's what I'm saying.
Which one would pass so we can have a logical argument and an actual
I can't
universal
tell you
healthcare
which one would
system?
pass.
Because
You
none of them
can't
would
tell-
pass. Thank you.
Which one do you want to pass?
What?
Well, I'm asking what you would want to pass.
Yeah, which one would you want to pass? Single, multi.
Single payer, multiplayer, both have pros and cons to them. I don't see
Right.
either one
Which
as
which
being
plan
like
would you
significantly
to see
better than
America
either.
adopt?
I don't care. They're both good.
So that you don't have a logical argument then. You literally do not have a logical argument of why universal healthcare is good if you can only one system that's
That's
actually
not
good and
that's not
structured.
true. They're both good.
We can even change.
Oh, great, then tell me why they're good.
Like saying, "Oh, I don't care." We can bring that into the presidential candidate.
Sure.
I'm not gonna do that because that's getting off topic.
That's not the same thing. I can break that down.
You're basically making it the exact same way. You're saying, "Oh, I don't care." Like they're both good. Like you have to have a certain decision on this.
No, I can say that I prefer either one of these two as opposed to what we have now.
Don't yell at me. First of all,
I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling.
Your voice is raised right there.
Okay, I'm allowed to raise my voice. Sorry if it hurt your feelings.
Keep your inside voices. Okay?
I think the biggest point you're missing.
So I didn't
is
realize you were so
individual-
fragile. My bad.
No, it's-
Individual. What I think you're missing about universal healthcare is individual ingenuity and competition and profit motives always lead to a bigger cost effectiveness and control, and there will be no patient flexibility because healthcare is controlled by the government. The procedure from the government will make
Why don't we
doctor
see this in
flexibility
other
reduced,
systems
and there will
where it's
be a
happening?
chance for patients to get poor care. Anyone who feels healthy and needs a health care must still pay for the expense, and those who are obese, smoke, and much more. The cost of malpractice lawsuit can increase because the government controls it and exposes the government in legal liability, as well as a chance to sue somebody with a low budget, which will give more lawsuits. Since the government controls the universal healthcare, the drugs, healthcare equipment, and the service may determine about who will get what. Anyone with a universal healthcare member may have extremely long waits when needing treatment as well.
Yeah, for non-essential services. Like in Canada, nobody waits for emergencies.
So after everything I listed, that's what you're gonna pick
So-
out of.
So look, single payer has advantages. It has low administrative costs. It uses a good redistribution of wealth.
Great.
Has large
Great.
and stable risk pool. Hang on, I'm literally answering your questions here.
wasn't a question.
The single payer also gives more bargaining power and purchasing power to health services. And because the government has a high degree of control over total health expenditures. Multi-payer, you have more competition, cost saving for insurers and employers. You end up getting more innovation, a greater ability to meet diverse and preferences of beneficiaries, effective for low and middle income countries, which would probably benefit us as well. They both also have some disadvantages when you compare them to each other as well. Like multi-payer has
Can
high
you give me one
administrative
example of
costs.
where this has actually worked?
I mean, you say that Canada and the UK don't work though, right? Even
they
though they're
don't.
still standing, they're still there.
Yeah,
It
there's
doesn't mean they're great. They're actually the same people that don't even want their healthcare system anymore either.
the government.
You know every single person in Canada and the UK, and they all say they don't like it. Like the guy who created the universal healthcare system for Canada wasn't voted the greatest Canadian of all time.
Yeah, because it's a terrible system.
No,
Right.
he was voted the greatest Canadian of all time
Why?
because they love it has overwhelming support by the Canadian people.
Yeah, but there's also the Parta community, which is I would consider the Parta community.
If you realize universal healthcare, they also have a lot more in cost of living. They don't get their fair share of care.
That's not directly tied to just healthcare though. They have a lot of other social services that we don't have.
Like what? Maybe you can divulge
They have
some of that.
tuition-free college,
Oh,
pretty
that's also
expensive.
terrible.
Okay,
They're all
that's it's irrelevant
when
to
you
the
keep-
conversation we're having.
It's not. No, it's not.
You
because when
literally
you-
just took another points that you
When
can
you
bring up.
increase the taxes, the chances of inflation is going to skyrocket. I made that point earlier with the you didn't debunk that claim at all actually when I talked about the federal tax revenue that we have now and how it would increase by 62%. You say it's morally okay to tax the
Okay,
rich
so
more, or in the middle class wouldn't see anything at all. It's what you said, which I said is not morally wrong to take from other people when they're not actually getting the same service if they're paying to a private sector. So why is it okay for the rich to pay for their own taxpayer system through a private sector, but it's not? It's okay for them to tax somebody that's not getting the same care.
wait, what?
So why is it okay to tax the rich who's maybe going through a private sector, say the multi-payer system? Why is it okay to tax the rich more for universal health care, even though they are going through a private sector?
This is the cost of living in society. We always have to make concessions to the slowest among us. That's how society functions.
So you're saying I should pay
So
for
jack the prices up on it even more, even though it's very well to be available
So
today.
nobody addressed my point that the Canadian healthcare system has an overwhelming support by the Canadian people, and even they did a poll saying that 60% of Canadians would be willing to pay even more if they did even more with it. So like, this is
Yeah, they
something
have
that is
to even
held in a
more of
very
it.
high. This is something that would be held. This is something that's held in
Well,
very high
go through
regard.
I can also go through many points that you didn't address about mine either.
Like what?
I would like to speak
So
on.
you never addressed that with individual ingenuity, competition and profit motives will lead to bigger cost effectiveness and control. There'll be no patient flexibility. You never mentioned the malpractice lawsuits that would increase. You never
These
mentioned
these
if the
things are all
government
begging
controls
the
universal health care,
question.
they determine who gets what. They determine who gets what. I don't think that's okay.
These things aren't happening. I don't think any of this stuff bears out in reality. We aren't seeing these things in systems where they already exist.
You are seeing these things. That's what you're not making.
Then
I'm
then
gonna go back
show
to
me
the
this.
MRI thing, like MRI and CAT scan. Yeah, how it takes up to 6 months for non-emergency.
Okay, so up to is using the most extreme cases, and nobody is waiting for emergency care.
Why do you think a lot of people from Canada come down to the United States to get that stuff and then send the results?
That is a
back to
terrible misrepresentation. Really rich people come down from Canada to do this. That's it.
Canada?
It's not true at all.
And he does that. He's not really rich, so.
Can you show me the numbers on this? When you say a lot of people, I don't even know what a lot means.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, a lot of people is a useless phrase in this conversation.
Okay. I'm looking for something.
Okay. So Tanner, I just want to address it is 3:46. Like I'm happy to go as long as you do, but at the same time too, I'm always available to do this.
Yeah. It's about 13 more minutes. Probably should go to bed at 4.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna try and get off at 3. My time.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh yeah, you're in Michigan time, aren't you?
I'm in Central.
No, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm at East. Yeah.
Just a little bit later. Do you live up north by chance?
Not really. How north
Okay.
are you?
I used to live in the Thumb, and it was a fucking shithole. Oh, it was
What
the
town
worst.
was it exactly?
I used to
the
live.
East
Well,
River?
so I lived in Bad Axe, Harbor Beach, Ubley, and Port Austin at one point.
I don't know. Son.
It's all in the
Okay.
Thumb. You know the Thumb, right?
Yeah.
Santa Lake in Huron County.
Yeah. I know where the.
Now I live near Detroit in a very nice area.
That's good.
Yeah, what's snow like?
We also have to look at like when
Snow's
it comes to,
actually the
like,
shit.
healthcare, we have different systems. We have different things that we have to take in. It's different for our country than other countries.
Sure. You're right. Like we have a bigger obesity problem in the United States, which could lead to increased costs. But I also argue that if we had a universal healthcare system, we would see a decrease in things like obesity.
How so?
Well, for starters too, like if everybody had healthcare, we would also have mental health coverage, and a lot of times obesity goes into play with some kind of mental health issues as well. We see
So
very
would
close ties
you-
to mental health and obesity.
So the Urban Institute estimates a 10-year spending of 32 trillion, only about half of which would be covered under introduced universal health care plans in the United States. Also, the Mercatus Center, I don't even know how to pronounce it, estimated 10-year, 32.6 trillion increase in federal spending, doubling all current projected federal, individual, and corporate income tax collections will be insufficient to finance the added
Okay.
federal costs of the plan.
So hold on,
Economists.
that's good. Wait,
other
can you go back
economists-
to your numbers real quick? I wanted to get your
Sure.
exact numbers on that. You said it would cost how much over 10 years?
The Urban Institute estimates 10 years, 32 trillion.
Okay,
Uh,
so
the-
right now we're projected to spend 36 trillion in the next 10 years if we keep our current system. So this is actually going to see a decrease by $4 trillion by
Do you have a
adapting
source
the
for that?
system.
Do you have a
yeah.
source for that?
Yeah, right here, cms.gov. I've been trying to make this point that we'd be spending less overall.
I don't want to see an increase in my taxes. I don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, but this is based on your numbers and then the raw data that I have here. We're going to be spending $4 trillion less.
And I'm not a big fan of spending money on Obamacare, and that's probably why it's so high.
Okay, but still, like, wouldn't that be great if you could pay less money and then everybody got
Yeah, not
got
for
healthcare?
universal healthcare. I'd rather not be spending $32 trillion either, if you want me to tell you the truth.
Well, yeah, but it's better than spending 36 trillion. That's like if you went into a sub shop, they're like, "Hey, by the way, if you go to the one next door, instead of paying $5 for your sub, pay $4 for your sub, and everybody gets one." Wouldn't that be way cooler?
No.
That should
No, you'd rather pay more to make sure that everybody else doesn't get it.
I'd rather have my own, yes.
Okay, but that's okay. Okay, but here's the thing. Things are the way they are right now, and this is a solution to make us pay less and get everybody covered. And this is somehow bad.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
So
I know it. I know. Healthcare is still rising in the United States thanks to Obamacare. What I'm saying, I prefer Donald Trump's plan where people can opt into getting healthcare,
Wait, so
and have it actually be affordable, and it
So-
won't cost as much because
So-
it actually be ran right.
Okay, so what's the issue with? So I'm
If you
addressing. I'm
actually look-
addressing your
if
taxes.
you look right
thing.
now, if you look right now, what's taking up most of the budget for healthcare insurance right now is government health insurance. That's the problem. Not private health insurance, not out of pocket. Actually, out of pocket health insurance actually pays the lowest. It's actually only responsible for 10% nowadays in 2020, 10% of
Okay,
healthcare
so
costs now. That's out of pocket. Then we actually look at private health insurance. That's not nearly as much either. It's actually government ran health insurance that is already
okay,
paying
but that's
more.
not going
So if
away
we got rid
anytime
of the
soon.
government health insurance, it actually wouldn't even be that much anyway.
Okay, but we're not going to get rid of it. We already know we're not going to get rid of it. So why not replace it with
But we
something that's
can- we
cheaper
can-
and then
we can
everybody gets
incre-
it?
We can definitely decrease the rates and keep it an option to people to buy healthcare. It shouldn't be universal. It shouldn't be forced upon people to have healthcare. That's what you're not getting at.
But it's
It shouldn't be-
cheaper this way.
It's not though, and the only reason why
I
is we
just
can
used your
decrease-
numbers.
We can decrease the current plan of government healthcare without increasing on other. And I still haven't
We
seen
can-
the source exactly.
Oh, I
for,
sent it to you
approving-
directly.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it later because I can't do it right now.
Oh, do you want me to just put it in chat? Would that be more useful for you?
Yeah, but
I sent
if
it to you on
also
Discord, though.
affordable healthcare, and the Affordable Healthcare Act is actually kind of a step towards universal healthcare, which already increased.
Okay,
the
but
system,
I'm not
which already
talking
is
about
terrible.
Affordable Care Act. I'm talking about the data that you just cited,
If it's already-
comparing
yes,
the numbers
yes,
to
if-
what we're
if-
already
if
paying.
If the Affordable Care Act already increased prices, I have a hard time believing the universal healthcare would also decrease prices as well.
So hang on a minute. When did Obamacare start? Obamacare started in March 3rd, 2010. Okay, cool. So then US cost per person. Actually, I'm super curious too. Let me check something else real quick before I go into these numbers. See, these numbers are really nuanced, and we have to take a look at a lot more than just one thing. Okay, so it seems like we're on the track to increase in medical spending no matter what happened. We have a trend even well before Obamacare, to where we're just consistently going up and up and up. So we can't say that all the increased spending is accounted for by Medicare or by Obamacare. Like if you look at any like graph showing like how much we increase our spending, it's like annually per person we're like going up by like a significant amount here. So it looks like we have a pretty clear path of since. So from 2000 to 2009, it's doubled, and Obamacare didn't go into effect until 2010. So we're getting huge spikes in it anyways. So no matter what, it's gonna go up and up and up. So in 2010, or in 2009, this is before Obamacare went into effect, we were paying about $3 trillion per year. So it stands to reason that the extra $2 trillion would have been expected anyways without Obamacare, which is although we went up more than that, Obamacare did account for an increase of $6 trillion instead of $2 trillion. I'm saying that the $2 trillion would have met with our natural trends that we see in healthcare spending increase in the United States. So even if we get rid of Obamacare, we can still get everybody covered under universal healthcare without increasing, going along with current trends.
My problem with universal healthcare is I'd rather pay more for proper in my own healthcare, because when you introduce universal healthcare, the doctor doesn't work for you; they work for the government. So they work for that income, which again would decrease competition, decrease price, lead to more doctors leaving the system. Would be good, and that's why.
So wait, then how come we're not seeing all these problems with Medicaid recipients now? People on Medicaid seem to like overwhelmingly approve.
We are, and that's why more doctors have actually left when we put in Medicaid. Can you imagine what would happen if we put in universal health care?
See, I just don't understand what you mean by doctors left. So you're saying they're going to throw away all this education?
The field. They're not being doctors anymore. That's what it means.
Like what percentage of this? Like I feel like this is like it gotta be remarkably small.
Let me get the numbers for you.
It seems like really old doctors only are leaving the field, like they're like qualified for retirement anyways. And actually, too, I have a friend of mine who is he's a doctor who works in a VA hospital. I'll bring this stuff up to him as well, and I can put it on stream.
So it's just that we can talk about the VA system, how terribly it actually happened to these people.
I mean, there's no debate about that. I'm just saying that he's a doctor, like he's literally in the field. So I think that he would have like a pretty good perspective on this.
And the socialized, like that is actually a good example of a kind of a universal healthcare system in the United States where it didn't work. They weren't covered very well at all, and
veterans benefits are fucked across the board. It's not limited to healthcare. This is just a better example of how the United States doesn't give a fuck about veterans.
Why universal healthcare and socialized things would not work in the U.S. if it doesn't even work for a certain system. I mean, there's still veterans uncovered through the VA system, which is socialized.
Okay, this is neither here nor there. This is a non sequitur because we fuck over our veterans every step along the way. This is just
it's socialized and it's still messing them up. So why would it work nationwide?
We can just make different policy. We don't have to adopt the policy that we did for VA.
So what I've kind of collected throughout the whole argument so far about universal health care is we got to constantly change that policy, change this. No,
I didn't say that we have to change policy. I'm saying we don't have to mimic the VA policy.
So what's different about the VA that you? And this is my last question. I gotta go to bed. What would you change about the VA policy that you would implement nationwide?
Well, I wouldn't compare the two at all.
Don't compare the two at all. But it's
no, it's not impossible. We can compare it to other systems instead. Like Medicaid works really fucking well. It's not comparable to how. For instance, my mother's on Medicaid. She can go to pretty much any doctor she wants. Her medicine's completely covered. Her copays are like $1 at best.
And then that brings it right back to my point I made earlier. That I said earlier today that if we adopted a universal health care in a Medicaid form in the United States, it would not work. And then you said, no, it wouldn't be like that. We talked about...
No, you just asked me why Medicaid was better than VA. That's all I was addressing. You can't take that back to another argument that's not about that. This is non sequitur.
It kind of is, because if the U.S. implemented a universal healthcare policy would be in the form of Medicaid. You said it works.
You're begging the question, though.
I'm not begging the question because that's
You
that's
are
the only
begging the
logical way it
question.
would work in the United States.
You don't know that. You don't get to just decide that's how it is.
But you don't know that it would work in the United States either, and you keep saying, "Oh, we
Okay,
we can try
okay,
this one."
look,
Wait, no, we can
I-
try this one. You're all over the place. You
That's
have to
not what I
decide on
said.
a
I
certain
said
plan so we can
no,
actually.
I don't
so
have to
my
decide on a
question
certain
before-
plan.
Hold on. My thing for you is when when we're ending right now. Next time I debate you, I want an actual universal healthcare plan that we can actually talk about why it wouldn't, why you believe it would work, and why I believe it wouldn't work. Because right now I have a healthcare plan, you don't, and that's why it wouldn't lead to a probable
I still
actual
need to see
debate
your. I
argument,
still need to
because we're
see your
always
healthcare
pondering
plan.
all over the place. Because we're pondering all over the place. You wanted to talk about the VA, then we're all going.
No,
back
I
to
didn't want to
Medicaid,
talk
then we're
about the
going to
VA at all. I just said that I have a doctor friend who works at the VA, and I can address your
And the
concerns
VA's
about
not
him.
working.
Okay, that's not. Stop. I'm not talking about the VA. I'm just saying I have a doctor friend who works there. I was just letting you know that he's a doctor. That's it. I could have left the VA out. Okay, I have a doctor friend who works at a hospital. It'd be really interesting to hear what he has to say about doctors leaving when it comes to socialized medicine plans. That's all I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
So
You're trying to throw
my
this into
thing
a whole
for you-
thing about the VA,
No, no,
and I have no
no, no,
interest
no,
in
no.
talking about this. It's not interesting.
Okay, great. Forget the VA. My thing for you is I want a healthcare plan from you that we can actually talk about instead of pondering off ideas. So what you claim is, oh, part of multi-payer taxpayers works, and then it's also parts of single-payer taxpayers works. But
No,
you're
I
not
didn't say I
giving me
want
an
parts of
actual
this or parts of
plan.
that. I said I don't care which one. I think they both work.
But the thing
That's
is,
not. It's
you're
not interesting
going
to.
back and
It's not
forth.
interesting to me to talk about. No, I'm not going back and forth. You keep
I
bringing
want an
up things
actual
about this
healthcare
or
plan
that.
from you so we can actually have an actual structured debate instead of pondering all over the place.
No,
'Cause
I
then
don't need to
parts of
ponder all
Medicaid-
over
we
the
think
place.
we're
You're
saying
the one
parts
who
of
keeps
Medicaid
jumping
work,
from
that'd be
this or
great,
from
then
that.
parts of Canada would work, that'd be great. I want an actual healthcare plan from you that we can actually have a good debate on instead of pondering all over the place.
All I'm trying to vouch for
And
is that we need.
that's what I
We
want to leave
need.
you with. I just want an actual healthcare plan from you. Text it in the chat, and then I'll text you my healthcare plan in the
Look,
chat. We'll look it over.
Debating
then we can actually
specific
have a good
healthcare plans
plan.
isn't interesting to me.
Well, then it should be. If you want to implement a universal healthcare plan, you should actually want to implement a good thing, and that's why I want to know what would be your preferred choice for universal healthcare, and that's all I want to know going into the
I
debate
don't
that we
have
want
a
to bring up.
preferred. I don't have a
Exactly.
preferred one.
Which is a problem. When I
There-
want you to
we have one or
develop
two.
your
We have
preferred-
one of two different systems that I think are both superior to this one.
Really,
Yes.
and I wish we went over it and why it wouldn't be good because, but again, if it's taking a lot of time.
I tell you what.
I shouldn't have to pay for somebody else's healthcare.
Okay, so I tell you what, I will pick one just to defend because it doesn't matter to me which one. So pick either one. If we could debate just me and you without fucking 12 other people dogpiling, it's very difficult to have a clear debate where I can focus on what's actually being said, and then I can stop, and then we can stop each other from gish galloping and whatnot. If it's one-on-one, rather than like 3 or 4 people chiming in all the time, it's very difficult to do it that way.
How about we just set up a simple debate? If Donald Trump's a good president or not.
Sure.
Okay.
And then
great.
and then after, like, do you want to do the healthcare one after that then?
Yep. And I don't know when exactly I'll be able to do the debate. I'll let you know. We can set up a date. That'd be great. Donald Trump's a good president or not. We'll debate that one. Then we'll talk about the healthcare one after that. Because then by then I believe we'll both have healthcare plans developed that we can defend and debate about as well. So that'll give us more time to develop an argument for healthcare as well.
All right, that sounds good, my dude. And also too, so yep, we're friends on Discord. We can leave the scheduling completely up to you. I'd prefer to be like after 5 p.m. It's just that I have
it'll
a
absolutely be past that time for sure.
Okay, cool. And also too, if you want to, when you do it, you can like, I don't. Do you have a different platform to stream on?
You know what? I'll leave the streaming up to you. And
No. I'm just saying. I mean, I am streaming already, but I was just saying if you're doing another thing, I can link to it, and then when I post on my socials about it, I can also link to yours as well. Just
sure.
So that way.
I believe Ethan will have something along that line, so I'll talk to him as well.
All right.
So I'll let you know.
All right. If you do the same for me, I would also appreciate that.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right, man. Like I said, I know things get heated. I don't hold any ill will. It's just how we talk. If I get loud, I'm not trying to yell at you. I just get excited sometimes.
Fine.
All right. Have a good night, buddy.
You too, man. Take care.
You too. Bye. from getting banned on TikTok. Oh, I also talked mad shit in the Discord too. He got kicked off of TikTok. That guy, he had 50,000 people. Yeah, tonight. Because he does fucking Omegle. What do you think happened?
You got to debate him though?
Yeah, that's who I was debating. And then like 3 other guys kept chiming in, so I just had to keep muting them.
I really like that you were like, sorry, I didn't know you were that soft.
That was one of the other guys who was jumping. He was like, stop yelling at me. I was like, I'm not yelling. He's like, you raised your voice. I was like, sorry, I didn't know you were that weak. My bad.
Good job.
He's like, I'm not a child. I wanted to be like, well then,
Did you have to be on Omegle for it?
no. He
Got
came to me.
this one?
Yeah, I fucking roasted him over and over until he joined. He doesn't think so. Yeah, he kept fucking jumping all over the place. It's funny, he accused me of the same thing. And he kept trying to get me to say, like, well, which healthcare system do you prefer? I said, single payer or multi-payer, universal healthcare. He's like, well, you have to pick one. I was like, no, I fucking don't! Like, why do I have to pick one? I'm saying that both of them are better than what we have now. But also, too, there's a bunch of new stuff about that executive order that Trump did. So I need to look into that. Oh, I am? My bad. I'm a little sad because it's such like a bad time